Right. All right. Saturday night photo review. Our first Saturday of the month, April Fool's Day. Nothing can go wrong here.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Mr. D Moots Photography. Dave's in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. Selective Imagery himself, Jeffrey Neville. We may have some others join. I think tonight Vahagan is on assignment, I might say. He's out shooting I don't know if it's a wedding, a reception, or what, but he said he might join us, though. He said, send me the link. I may join live from there. So there you have it. All right. See a lot of chatter going on over here already. We've got how many folks we have in here? 14 people in here so far. So I got how many photos did I get? Let me see. I told you
21 or 2, I think you said something like that.
I think I said 22, but let me see, because I'm always adding, the last minute. 23. And that's actually not all of them, because a few people have a few photos I went ahead and included, especially if they were something that was creative or something like that, because that was the theme. Not that you had to live by it by any stretch of the imagination. You could enter whatever photo you want for the review, take it whenever. But a few people tried it, and yep, Greg Wilson says I got mine in on time. Yeah, most people did. It was really good. Although I expect, though, before we finish, somebody's going to say, hey, I just sent you another photo.
Yeah.
Which is fine. If we can work it in, we will. But before we get started, man, I mean, there's big breaking news today. Nikon is going to announce a medium format camera, which is great because they haven't announced anything. And also a new cine camera, which is great again, because again, they haven't announced anything.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys take a lot of joy in that, as I do. 2 cameras that we're not really asking for, but hey, I guess we get something. And even more important, Canon, the R1, all the specs are out already. 102 megapixel sensor and 12K video. Man. That's a monster. I'll tell you, it's a great day for camera news. So if you guys missed it, just want to make sure you're up on all the new news. And yeah,
that's perfect timing, because I just ordered the brand new 12K Samsung TV.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's going to work out great.
Exactly.
I've got some land in Alaska, a strip of land in Alaska where it never snows.
Let's see. Jason Michaels Photography says Nikon medium format camera, and now you don't have to buy Fuji. Well, but there is an adapter that's going to come with it for Fuji glass, since we don't have any.
Yeah.
So, it's a great day in the neighborhood, man. April Fool's Day is always wonderful for some of this stuff. Mozman says, I switched to Sony.
So did I, Mozman. I just canceled my Z600 order, so I'm switching.
You had enough. You're not waiting anymore. Doggone it.
I'm tired of waiting.
You have to do it.
Yep. What was I going to Joe Mack said, and we haven't even welcomed in Joe or Kevin yet. I checked the specs on the R1. It has a drone mode too. There you have it, man. This is an all-rounder. It can do everything. And
I can't figure it out.
I can't do it.
It has multiple sensors in it, so it can drop to a 12 megapixel sensor for those that want the better dynamic range and low noise and everything else. This is it. This is the one we've been waiting for. So we'll all be switching. Now, all kidding aside, you knew this was coming today. Although there were a couple of these announcements, or by YouTubers, that were done extremely well. So,
today would have been a great day for Nikon to actually release the real stuff, and everybody would be guessing, wait a minute, it's got to be an April Fool's joke.
Well, of course we would.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw the medium format one. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
There it was.
Well, Chuck, aren't you giving away an 800 PF on your show tonight? Best picture?
Absolutely. That's the plan. That is the plan. It's been sitting out on the porch. I didn't bring it in, so if it's still there, we might give it away. Kevin, you must be happy with the Canon news, man. The R1.
Oh yeah, April Fools. Actually, for like the first 2 seconds, I was like, "You gotta be like," I thought it was for real, and I was like, "No, no.
They were well done, both of them. The
It
two that
was,
I
yeah,
saw.
yeah. Good for Simon. Simon did a good job on that one.
Yes, he did. He backed it up with all kinds of stuff too to make it as real as possible.
Yeah,
he had me on that one at first.
I was going to leave him a comment, and then I said, I really don't know what I want to write.
You know what's not really so funny is I expect that the R1 will sound very similar to those specs. I really do.
probably really close to it. Yeah.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting if Nikon announces anything this year. I mean,
tell me about it.
And if they think I'm going to shut up because they announce a camera, I got news for them. And I know I'm going to drive a bunch of people away.
Matt Irwin just dropped a video on the new Z1 rangefinder.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's a good thing I was too busy with this remodel job. I didn't even get online and look today.
yeah. It's well, we all knew it was coming, but I didn't expect it to be so well done, by some of these guys, and it was. Yeah, it caught me for a second. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw the headline, okay, boom, open it up, and then it sounded real for the first few seconds, and then it dawned on me, hey, knucklehead, it's April Fool's Day.
There's just so much people are just waiting for, you know what I mean, that they're excited for, and the little bit of news, you're like, oh, it's got to be right. What's up with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
After Simon, I turned YouTube off.
right.
Well, I tell you, Simon did not like start laughing or anything. He was as straight faced.
No, straight face.
He did a great job.
He did a good job at it.
Yep.
Somebody said, "Oh, I'm going to buy 2 of those." Somebody wrote in the comments, "I'm going to get 2 of those."
Good luck. Oh, man.
Some of the times you can tell right off the bat there's like a little smirk or something like that. You'd be able to catch on to it really quick. Yeah. Simon was just straight. 90% of the video was just like, he was very good at how he articulated it.
Not just that, but he had everything set up so that he could show and the new card and everything. He was on it. Nikon has a great sense of humor. They've been trolling photographers for years. There are no product shortages, just lots of laughs.
Man.
So man, I don't know. We'll I guess Captain Obvious here. We'll wait and see. Do we have a choice? All right. So we got 23 entries into the photo review tonight, and there were some people that tried a few different techniques or tricks or whatever, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I know that we have one photographer that was struggling trying to come up with something creative. What he doesn't understand is he's already creative. So what he sent me was a snapshot. Isn't that right, Joe? The koi pond.
I was gonna say Joe's always in creative stuff.
Joe says, "Well, I try to get out of my comfort zone." He shot a koi pond.
Hey, I've never shot fish with a camera before.
Yeah. But then he followed it up with another one that I said, okay, all right, but I'm definitely going to show off his koi pond work, though. No doubt about that. Just picking on you, Joe. I thought it was funny. You don't realize you're already creative, man. I don't know how you get more creative. So,
I got to shoot tomorrow, and I have no clue what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a clue, but I don't know how it's going to work. I've never done it before, so
I don't think it's going to stop you, buddy.
No, I'll get something.
No, I believe it. And
that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I'll come away with something, but it might not be great or my version of great, which is okay. But
hey, as long as people like it, there it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I want to start this off with my terrible entry, and it's not creative, but I had to post something because everybody gets mad because I never post a photo.
Was that with the 85?
No, no.
Yeah.
85 plus a few.
Chuck was on the other branch. Chuck was on the other branch right next to the bird.
This is with the
Those taxidermists are getting really good.
they are. I gotta applaud Mr. D Moots for sending it to me. This one has a bendable body, so you can pose it in any tree.
Were you up in a tree stand with that one there, Chuck?
No,
Hey, it took me a long time to get the wire just right where he could bend and pose that thing.
but I thought he could have sent a better piece of prey than a starling. But anyway.
Well, those are trash birds anyway. So
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, there you go, guys. There you go. There's my wonderful photography. I got a bunch of bird photos. Nothing like you all take, but a bunch of them nonetheless. But I thought this is really for Z Wade. This is the brown pigeon eating
the black pigeon.
The black pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
A pigeon eating a pigeon. That's what Daryl
exactly
said.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
You sure
All right,
D-Wade didn't send that to you? Talking about pigeons?
No. He asked me if he could borrow it because he's going to pose it a different way. But Z Wade, he's going to have it dancing.
Yeah. In a blonde wig.
Yeah, exactly. In a blonde wig. The long hair, blonde pigeon. Yep. All right, let me get that out of the way. So yeah, we did get some did get some creativity, and I got to go dig up my where is my, here we go. Here's all the details. For the details that you guys send in. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, and that's okay too. This is John Wilson. And by the way, John actually sent 3 photos, and I'm putting them in here just because it might inspire some of us to go try something. I know everybody knows what light painting is, but I thought he did an excellent job here, especially on this one. I don't know what it is about it. The colors are, I think, fantastic. But I'm going to let you guys jump in here and talk about it.
Does it say what he used for his light source?
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Is that one of those little brushes with the LEDs on the end?
That's what I was wondering because of the real fine lines.
I have no idea other than, let's see, these are some pics from a light painting workshop I gave recently. So he actually teaches it. That's cool. John, you need to teach us. I've included 3 just to show some different techniques. These are long exposure, total darkness. Models have to stay very still while I swing the lights around behind them. The rainbow effect one, which is coming up here in a minute, you haven't seen yet, is with the Z9 and the 24-200 at f10 ISO 125 with flash fired at the end of the exposure. So rear curtain flash. A Pavo tube T8 7X created by the color swirl. So one of those Pavo tubes, I've got a couple of those back there. They're pretty cool. I kind of like that. Now I'm going to have to go try this with the 85. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fire and Ice one, which we'll get to in just a minute, is Z7 II 40. I think it's the 40 millimeter. Yeah, F2. Or, well, I don't know. No, at F10. So it's 13 seconds. I don't know what the 40 F2 is. What am I missing, guys? See, the blue one is Z7 II. That's this one. I guess 40 seconds is what it is. Maybe, I don't know. No, 15 seconds. I don't know, John. You got to help me out, man. If you're in the chat, help me out. Anyway, the last 2 I used tools from lightpaintingbrushes.com. Okay. I didn't even know that was something.
Oh, so okay. He added, that sounds like post. He added some light painting brushes through Photoshop or something.
Okay. I enjoy seeing what I can create with light painting. My town's full of good photographers. Light painting gives me my own lane to play in. Great. Great, John. All right. So I think it's beautiful, man. I do like it. Now
Yeah,
I'm gonna mess everything up.
it's unique, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the color coordination. He's got the brown leather chair in there. You know, her skin, olive skin, and yeah, man, it's creative and it's cool.
Makes
That's
you
my,
it
go
makes
ahead.
you it makes you wonder like just her expression on her face makes you wonder what she's thinking. And
I'm thinking, I hope this comes out.
yeah. And it's cool because it kind of gives you that, at least for me, like that vibe of like mystery or something in like a sci-fi or I don't know, something like that, to where it has that mystical type feeling, that vibe. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Hey, Chuck, Craig C is asking, is there a way to, I guess, move us out of the way so they could see the full image?
I wish I could move us out of the way.
I
I can try stacking everybody on the right hand side and see if that's.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that works.
That's
That
good.
looks even better now. Yeah, now that you can see the full picture.
Yeah, that works.
I like Jeff and Leslie. She's probably thinking, I don't have all night. Get on with it.
Yeah, she does have that look.
Yeah, like come on.
No
Yeah,
problem,
well,
Craig.
By the way, I've got the phone on. If anybody would like to call in, if your photo comes up, or if you just want to call in and comment on one of the photos, that's fine as well. Let me make sure everything's set up. I think we're good. Roadcaster Pro, we are set. All right. All right. I hear somebody's audio in the background. So, all right. Thank you, David. David says that looks better. All right. Much better, Daryl H says. All right. So that's the first one. Let me go back over here. Let's see if we can, if I can find my cursor. Let's see if it's going to work. Yes. So here's the second one. Okay. Definitely different.
Well, it's got a My 70s show vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. That is cool. So I like
the
light
hipster
painting.
look. The hipster look.
Yeah.
And she's looking like, are you done yet?
Yeah.
David, is that the color you're painting in the house, by the way, in one of the
Yeah.
rooms, or what?
I'm not even thinking paint yet. I still have stuff tore down to the studs.
Craig C says, okay, all I want to do is light paint now. I hear you, Craig. I want to do it too.
That
My
girl's
problem
looking at that book like, I can't even see it in the dark.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, man. And the third, now this one's really cool.
That one is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the blue side.
So this is just a matter of, this doesn't take a lot of effort. If you can get somebody just to stand still for a little bit, that'll do that for you. I don't even,
Right.
you can, how about doing this with a still life? Joe, that's your forte, man. Putting up some kind of still life or something. Or,
Did he name this one? Because I look at it and I'm thinking fire and ice, with
I think that
colors.
is, yeah, that's the
Look-
one he was talking about.
I really
Okay.
like the contrast. I really like the contrast between like their skin tones and then the colors. And it almost like it makes it look like it's a poster of like some kind of Marvel movie or something.
Okay, so one of the nice things about these reviews is you see this, you don't have to replicate it exactly, but somebody out there may say, man, I just got an idea what I'd like to do with it.
Yeah. Do you see Jason Michael's photography comment there?
Like all the women I ever dated in my life. Oh, man. Well, John, thanks for the creativity, man. I enjoyed it.
Good work,
Yeah, that's
man.
one thing
Really
I've
nice.
never done is light painting.
And again, it's back to, maybe you've inspired a few people to try something different, just for kicks and grins.
Yeah, David Stewart, as soon as I learn how to sneak up on the birds, I'm going to do some light painting with birds.
Oh, man. Terry Breedlove says, April already. I just wanted to stop snowing. Yeah, and you guys got some more snow coming next week, I saw. So, man, that's tough. All right, let's go on. I don't know
Whoa.
who is this?
Wow.
I don't know who took that's awesome. That's mine.
I like it. It's cool.
When I took this picture, I had hair. That I think that stuff he was spraying was definitely not Rogaine.
Well, so you had the hair when you took the picture, and you lost the hair the next day.
Yeah, whatever he was spraying, I did get wet taking this picture. I don't know what it was.
That's the Monsanto special.
What are they really spraying out of that?
DDT or something, you know?
No, Dave, you're about halfway there for panning, or halfway too far for locking that shot down, because I can see it looks like there's a movement in the vegetation below it. The prop has just got enough,
just a little bit of blur
in it. Yeah. It's pretty cool. But my wife and I were driving around just looking for birds to take pictures of and stuff, and I saw this guy buzzing the field. So I literally just pulled over, pointed the camera at it, and started snapping. I didn't even really try to do anything special with it. Still a cool photo.
I just like the colors. I like where it goes from the blue down to the green. And with the yellow. I thought it was really cool with the colors and all that.
It is. It's an interesting photo, man.
It has wings. It's similar to a bird.
Yeah.
Well, nice shot.
Oh, all right.
Actually, that was taken with a D500 with a 150 to 600 Sigma lens.
Okay.
I took that a long time ago.
So it just goes to show you don't have to have a Z8. You just have to want one.
That is so true, man. I'd love that D500.
Oh, the new APS-C body by Nikon will be out soon.
Shit, I wish. As long as it's high enough megapixels.
All right, let's see. Let me go back to my cheat notes here. And this is Sith. Sith says, here's one of my more creative macro photography with some added texture to make it a bit more than just a normal Hawaiian orchid. So that is an orchid. Okay.
Cool.
Older photo I took in 2008. Camera was a D3 with a 105 2.8G, with, of course, the macro lens, the old macro lens. And he couldn't remember the shutter or ISO, but it was natural window light. Mid-morning.
Wow, that's bright.
I like all the different patterns that are in that flower. You got like what almost looks like zebra stripes, and you got lots of different colors. That really makes it.
I thought it was like some kind of jellyfish.
Well, I was just
you almost think it's a creature. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost gives you that first impression of an insect or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
so
I've
do
tried
any of you
macro so
all
many
ever
times, and I suck at it so bad.
do any of you all ever think about trying to sell these things for like hotel stock? I mean, that I see a lot of photos that we come across. Oh, wait a minute, I have a missed call. I'm sorry, whoever it was, call back. It might be Sith. Sorry, that was me. The phone ringing. All right. But I mean, has anybody ever tried that? Is that something that can be done? Who's your son there, Joe? What's his name?
Oh, this is Gabriel. It's my grandson.
Oh, Gabriel. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Hello.
Hello.
We're a friendly bunch of people. You don't have to worry about us.
I think I'll just
He's got his Nikon F100 sitting over there on the table.
All right. Sith, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Chuck.
Yes, sir. We're looking at your photo. I thought it was kind of a jellyfish looking thing. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I think it's one of my very first shots of using the 105 macro lens.
Okay.
And So this is like a close-up shot of the Hawaiian orchid,
Okay.
and then and then I just add some texture to give it a little more creativity, you know.
Okay.
And then it turned out better than I had expected. It looks actually better than the actual orchid.
Wow.
Believe it or not, you know. And I really like how the colors, contrast and saturation turn out, and it felt more like a painting versus a photography.
Yep. That's why I was asking. Does anybody try to market some of these photos like this, some of these things to hotels? Because they buy up hundreds of them to decorate when they're redecorating and stuff. I don't know. I don't have any.
Yeah, I mean, I never tried, but I was thinking doing some like stock photos, but nowadays stock photos are very cheap.
Yeah.
So you are making like a cent if you're lucky, or if they even buy your photos at all, you know. So,
Yeah.
But,
It almost looks like a watercolor painting, right? Has that watercolor painting look to it.
I think I add some like very faint watercolor filter from Photoshop in there, just to get a little more like a softer feel to it. You know?
Yeah.
And do some gradient with the background color, a little more of like sky blue in there. You know, so actually the actual background is more of like really really light blue, but I pump up the blue level on that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little bit on the downside when I was doing photography, because like all I did was just capture the moment in time, but nothing very creative. So I thought like I tried the macro, and then I kind of enjoyed it very much. Unfortunately, the focus is very slow, you know. But I mean, it's still a fun lens to have.
No, and that's great, especially considering too that it was window light. Man, that was great window light.
It's all natural light, one window light, and then I believe it was that I don't think it was the f 2.8, but I think it's f4, because 2.8 on macro is like you can't see nothing at all,
right?
Except at the very front, you know. So,
well, Jeff and Leslie, he said that he would have bet that it was the macro lens, the 105 macro. He shot so many. He shoots a lot of not just wildlife, but flowers and things, fauna, especially in the springtime. And so I'm sure he could identify it pretty quick. I'll tell you who would love this photo: Becky at Gray's Westminster. She'd be all over this. She'd be all about this photo, because that is her. She loves shooting flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The colors are awesome.
Even the 85 1.4 or 7200 2.8 is a good flower lens too. You know, man.
Yeah.
I did a few with 7200. It sounds really great. Maybe not a macro, but you can pretty get a tight close up. And then if you got the perfect time of day with the lighting, it's just awesome.
Yeah, I had some success with the 80 to 400, and everybody's laughing right now, probably, really, as a macro lens. Well, yeah, I have. It definitely gives you enough standoff.
Yeah, pretty much. Sure.
I like how the photograph kind of, or the flower itself, kind of blends in with the whole picture, the background, kind of gives it that abstract
kind
look.
Of fell off. Yeah, I cropped just a minor crop a little bit. It's obviously the photo is a little more vertical, but just cropping it. But I kind of liked it where the leaf itself kind of bled off to the edge of the page a little bit. So it feels more like a painting. That's why when I compose the shot, but the real photo is pretty close to this right here. So it's a very tight,
Well, your eyes go right to the yellow in the middle, and just as Jeffrey was saying, the black stripes, it does. It gives you the feeling of a zebra. I mean, and it's hard to see on the screen, I know, for most people, but I'm looking at it on the big screen, and it almost looks like zebra hide. I mean, maybe that's part of the what you had done to the photo. Oh man, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And Chris said Chuck's sitting here thinking about how he can sell this photo. Chris, don't give all my secrets away, man. I got to make or Craig. I'm sorry, not Chris, but Craig said it. I got to make a living somehow.
That's why he has this monthly photo show.
Exactly. And you guys need to step it up a little because I've got some high-end buyers coming up next month.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
I'll convert it's going to like print it on canvas, you know. And,
There you go. So yeah, I mean that's going to be our next month. We're going to do photos that work well on canvas.
yeah.
Just because I want to see if you can do it.
And crop
I'll
dusting
put
planes
some
aren't going to cut it.
photos in.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Sith, thanks for calling in, man. Thanks for giving us a rundown on the photo. It is a beautiful
Yeah,
photo.
wonderful photo for sure.
Yeah, great shots.
Very nice. Nicely done.
All right, brother. Thanks for participating. We'll see you again. Well, we'll see him again next month, I hope. All right. So let's go on to the next one. If I can find my cursor again. Steven! Where is he when I need him? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Fish.
It's a fish.
Oh, koi. I mean, joy. It's a koi.
No, I'm just beating you up, Joe. I mean, it's a cool photo, but you're already creative. I wanted to see how you could actually top yourself, and now I know you're going to really have to step your game up to be able to top yourself. But cool.
Well, I like all the leaves that are in the water. That adds a lot to it, having all those small leaves.
Well, yeah,
in
that
there.
that contrast of the brown.
Yeah.
How I did challenge myself. I used a Voigtlander 40mm manual focus lens.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that fish sat still for you that long?
No, that was like 1 out of 20 that was even sharp.
That's an acrylic pour. That fish is
There you go.
Sure, it's not one of those rubber fish that you could put in a pool and just floated there.
Yeah, my wife's behind me with the fishing pole. I just
Photoshop the
got
line
the fishing
out.
line.
Yeah. One of the wind up ones you'll put in your kid's bathtub.
Greg Wilson says, I'm hungry. So. All right, Joe. Thanks, man. But here you go. Now this is Joe.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's Joe
cool.
right
That's
there.
cool.
Can you zoom out?
Hang on. Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
I love everything about it. He's in his Halloween costume, I would assume.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting too when you go all the way to the floor, man.
He's got the black latex gloves on his feet and hands.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the deal was with the feet.
And he was just running around like that. I took some portraits of him, and then I looked down at him when he looked up at me. I said, "Hang on just a second." And I stood up on the bench.
You sure that's a Halloween costume and not the real Spider-Man? I mean, you could be,
He thinks it's real.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But only a kid's going to give you that expression. That's what makes it too. The expression.
I like they know my secret identity, Dad.
I like the vignette of it too. The vignette of it too is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Daryl had it. He says loves the feet, adds a ton to it does. I think the feet are really because that's the first thing I looked at after his face. I went right to his feet. I'm like, what the heck?
Robert, how you doing, Robert? Thanks for joining us, brother. Yeah, man, Joe, this is you. See, you. I don't know if you can improve on you.
The one I'm doing tomorrow, if it works out, I might can.
All right, man. We look forward every month to seeing. What was Joe bringing this time?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that was the 58 1.4 G.
I was just going to ask you what you shot that with.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was shot at 1.4.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, it's just it's one of those photos you got to stop and look at. Could have picked it out of the crowd, Joe. if you hadn't said anything and it was just in a bucket of photos, I'd pick it out and go, Joe Stroud shot this.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, what's he standing on? Is it brown carpet or is it
Concrete.
Is it concrete? Okay.
Yeah. I just toned it down a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks cool.
Greg Wilson's asking Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man with a twist. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I wish I had $1 for every time he wears that costume.
I'll tell you what, man. Again, that's a fantastic photo, Joe.
Thank you.
Now you know why I had to pick on you for the koi photo.
Yeah, but that wasn't a bad photo either, you know?
No,
That was a good photo.
No. We hold Joe to a higher level. Joe doesn't get away with those photos. All right.
The plane of focus is right along with his eyes, Gustavo.
Yeah.
It's right on too, man. It's great.
Oh, that lens, when you nail it, it's magic, man. You know, and it never worked on my DSLRs.
Really?
No, I could not get it on my D850 or my D500. I could not get that lens to. I would get 1 out of 50 that was sharp.
Huh.
And I was like, this is junk, you know? And then when I put it on the Z9, man, it was like, oh, now I know what this thing is.
It's amazing how the Z9 makes all the old F glass better.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
really
so, I want to talk about something else here, and this is what makes you unique, Joe. You didn't just shoot this and just post it. What did you do in processing it? Because it's soft yet sharp. It's got a character to it.
That's the lens. I didn't do any of that.
I mean, it's almost got grain to it. I love that.
Yeah, I add grain a lot to a lot of my images just to give them some texture.
Okay.
I don't like the silky, smooth, glossy look.
Yeah.
So I always try to give it a little bit of grit or a little bit of tooth or something.
Yeah, I think most of your images you've done have all been kind of grainy, haven't they? I think that's kind of what works into your look that we're so used to seeing now is that grain. It looks great.
And I don't mind shooting at 6,400 or 12,000, you know.
Yeah.
And then I might even add a little bit in the in post, to make it a little more.
See, that goes back to my comments all the time about people that are nitpicky. They're pixel peeping at 200% and saying, well, it's not sharp at 200% or whatever lens and yada, yada, yada. I mean, these people want to take all the character out of a photo, in my opinion, and I think portraits of women, I think they look so much better when there's that soft feel to it rather than, like you said, the silky glass skin. And I mean, this photo doesn't work for me without your processing, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I spend too much time on them sometimes. I mean, I go back to the image that I took 5 years ago. I may reprocess it.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Totally something different,
So, Robert,
they always evolve. So,
yeah, your processing, you change a lot as you mature in it, and I do the same thing. I'll go back to pictures I took 5 years ago, even of a bird, and redo it, and they come out so much different.
Mm-hmm.
It puts new life all together to the picture, even if it's a couple years old.
It does, yeah.
Robert Daniels is saying he's got the 40 and the 58, Joe.
I got those two as well. They're great lenses. I like the 40 better than the 58, and I like the Nikon 58 better than the Voigtlander.
And he's saying
it's got a whole look of its own.
Yeah, and he's saying here, it's why I got both, lens character. And again, we go, going back to everybody's so worried about, sharpness. I mean, I don't know how sharp anything has to be. I understand it for product photography or other things like that. But why is it everybody wants a lens? I mean, you can't use a lens unless is there a perfectly sharp lens from, start to finish out there anywhere? Maybe that's the lens these people need to go buy. But man, I love that.
Try some of the new Voigtlanders for the Z mount.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure those are great.
Yeah.
You know, there's a really well-known photographer who's got a bunch of galleries all over the country. And I remember, and I love his work. And I remember going to his gallery and looking at his big prints. And I'm thinking, man, they're not sharp. You know, some of them aren't sharp at all. And I mean, he makes millions.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's a moment that you capture, you know?
Yep.
And if it don't make you stop and look, then I like photographs that make me stop and, ooh, let me look at that.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have to be tack sharp.
Well, and here's another issue that we run into with people that are so wrapped up in no noise or whatever. And like Robert's saying here, high ISO with these lenses render nearly painterly effects. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, that's what we want, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's like that koi fish. That was shot at 3,200, I believe.
Yeah. You didn't get enough grain in it.
I know.
Oh,
yeah, I think it's definitely blown out of proportion. I think there's a place for having sharp images, but I just think within the photography community, it's blown out of proportion big time with a lot of
it is. Yeah.
That's the people that give you the most grief, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but now here's the other thing. And then we have to fight the battle of the purists that, you know, you can't touch a photo. It has to be the way it was shot. It's like
there'd be a lot of ugly photos out there.
Yeah, I'm not a photojournalist, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But
no.
Wonderful job though on this photograph, Joe, for sure.
Absolutely, Joe. All right. Thank you, brother. But I had to set you up with a koi shot. Good shot, but it's good. Not Joe Stroud. Sorry.
You said do something different.
Yeah, you did. You did. All right.
Oh, wow.
Gustavo.
I was going to say, I'm reading the bottom. I go, that's Gustavo's handiwork.
Gustavo, I can't zoom in anymore on it. I don't know why it won't let me.
Is that the reflection? Or
there we go. There we go. There you go. All right. So Gustavo.
Yeah, that's a reflection. Okay.
No, I think he shot. I don't know.
No, I can see the water ripple right to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in that. Right in the right-hand corner, bottom right.
That's really nice. I like that.
So he says it was taken at Yosemite National Park, 2014, Hayden Valley, using the D800E, the 14 to 24 2.8 at 24 millimeter, ISO 640, and 1/2000th of a second at f7. And
I like that he shows the reflections.
Yep. Yep, reflection.
Yeah.
I like that 2 or 3 of the birds are highlighted by the, I don't know if it's a reflection off the water or what, but cool. This is something different for Gustavo. I like it, Gustavo.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yep.
Something different.
I like how you were able to get them all to group together like that. They listened well.
What I'm finding interesting is it's hard to find a bird's reflection that actually matches up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you look, it's really weird. Huh. Is the whole shot nothing but a reflection? Is that what I'm seeing then? We're not seeing.
You're not seeing part sky and part water. I think it's all water.
It's the whole thing is a reflection. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That was throwing me off.
Good job,
It's
Gustavo.
one of those that stops and makes you look at it. That's what I like.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And somebody said that so many times. Some of the other photographers that are real photographers that aren't pixel peepers have said that often. If you pause on a photo, there's something good in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just don't understand what you're looking at, you still achieved something as the photographer. You made people stop and look.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool.
Any great photo apart, you know.
Yep.
I think it's really cool, even in the wildlife photography niche, how it just this photograph also points out a good fact that you don't always have to go for that portrait zoom in right up on the bird look. zoom out a little bit, get the whole picture, the whole story, more of an environment look. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I've gone to doing more of that lately because I used to be that way, just zoomed in on the bird, just straight portrait, you know, but I got burnt out on that.
Right.
And so I've kind of changed the way I shoot now.
Yep.
We've all done that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's your typical starting out, you know.
Yeah.
That's the shots I want to get. Then when you get a bunch of them, it's like, and these just don't do it for me no more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, Dennis, it doesn't matter what camera you've got, what camera whatever. You know, I'm glad you joined us from New Zealand, and you're welcome in here anytime, and you're welcome to submit a photo.
That Nikon D90 is a good camera.
Yes.
I had that camera. I loved that thing. The colors that D90 produced were awesome back in the day. There is nothing wrong with that camera.
Except for the Z8's going to make me a better photographer. Just me. Just me. I have to keep saying that because people keep asking me. So now I've decided to answer yes, it will make me a better photographer.
I think that's just another running April Fool's joke. I'm sorry.
Dennis, you're welcome to join us. If you'd like to submit a photo tonight, I do this quite often. You're welcome to submit a photo even for this show. And Daryl, great comment here, Daryl. A good eye will beat camera gear every time.
That's true.
100% fact.
100%.
Yep.
It is the best camera in the world won't capture something. Well, it won't capture anything without you pointing the camera, framing the subject, picking the light and everything else. So yes. Absolutely.
That's why I say, don't be ashamed of the D90. It's a great camera.
No. The best camera is the one that you have in your hand. Remember that.
Yeah.
I gave a girl my Canon 20D like 10 years ago, and she's still shooting with that thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
8 megapixel, man. She's still shooting with that thing.
Yeah.
All right, don't get everybody riled up, Joe. I'll be here. I'll have all kinds of emails. See, I told you.
You don't need any new gear. And Chuck gonna say, wait a minute.
I wasn't meaning it like that. I was just saying that how some of these old cameras are really good.
Don't bring up film, Joe. Don't bring up film. You'll set Chuck off. Don't talk film.
No. And Jeff and Leslie talking about the environmental photos tell a better story than the single creature or the lives, how it lives and struggles. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time and a place for a portrait shot of any animal, but yeah, it's great to get the environment.
That's what I love about you guys too, is we can take a photo, and a lot of people will look at the photos that, we review and say, well, it's just a general photo. But you guys are smart enough to sit down and think about it. And I think you would draw more people to a photo just because they're not seeing it. They don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, everybody looks at a photo differently anyway. And it takes, if you have discussion, it might make you look at it differently.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if it was only about gear, you can hand a camera to anybody. So true. So true. Yep. But still, the Z8 is going to make me a better photographer. I can't back away from that now. I'm too invested in it.
With the 200 to 600, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Daryl, thank you for saying it. And I'll say it again also. Welcome, Dennis, to the chat. I hope you enjoy. All right. Someone hand me a Z9, please. You want to test that theory, don't you, Craig? I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Let me get find my cursor again. All right. We're in the right spot. Next. All right.
Oh, nice.
Let me make sure we're not. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow.
It kind of changed it, didn't it?
Yeah, the road to nowhere, man. The road to nowhere.
I was thinking, man, I've been on that road many times.
Hey, you know what? I almost just it almost has your kind of feel to it, Joe.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yep. This is Caesar's photo. He said, creatively, I decided to combine two photos into one.
Wow.
used the road as the leading line to, and the lightning. Let's see, and took out the power lines. Tried to create an eerie feeling like how I felt that night. And it's with this Nikon Z6 II. All right, so you're not going to get any heartburn from us here, Caesar. The purists would be going nuts right now. Well, it's not real. Yeah.
No, it's great. Good job.
Yeah, wonderful job.
Yeah, real nice.
I like the
think
moody look. I love that.
I would have never known it was two different photos either. I mean, you nailed it.
Great,
Yep.
great.
That looks
blending
like
job.
a scene that would work in like one of the old Twilight Zone episodes.
So you even got the lightning shot in there. I didn't even notice that until just now.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, even the road reflections, you could see that as being the lightning reflecting on the paint.
Yep.
And that's great. Great shot.
Yeah.
Great composite. I mean, I love composites too.
And here you go. It's not black and white. I would have thought that until I saw the hint of green. So it works.
Yeah, and he has that little hint of purple in the sky right below that light that kind of just adds to the feeling there. Little magenta cast coming through.
Yep. No, it's cool. Great shot.
Caesar, you did a great job, buddy. And I appreciate you trying to do something different, man. That's cool. I like it.
Sometimes I want to point out really quick that also that type of weather makes for some great photography.
Oh yeah.
Being out in really crappy weather, it sucks for the moment, but it makes for some phenomenal photography.
There's been many days I go out when it's crappy and raining and all that.
Right.
And I've gotten some of the best bird shots and just wildlife shots in general in that kind of weather.
And when it ends, you get your best light.
Yeah.
Kevin, you were just talking about this on one of your videos, how don't ignore inclement weather because it may give you some of the better photos.
Yep.
Cool.
I agree.
Caesar, you knocked it out of the park, man. It looks great. All right. And
wipe out.
This is King Tech. Let's see his submission for the April photo review. This was taken on my Z9 with a 7200 at a recent seafood festival where they had some demos of water sports. There you go.
That's
I just see that
7200.
picture and I say that's going to hurt in about a couple seconds.
I've always wanted to try that myself, but
oh man,
I doubt I'll ever get around.
I try that at my age now, man. I'd be in a body cast. I mean, that would be the end.
I couldn't get out of bed for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 70-200 is a fantastic lens, isn't it?
It is. I love it. I love my 7200.
He caught the moment, you know.
Yep. Cool. All right, King. Thank you very much, man.
A wonderful job.
I don't know what that is in the background, but this is what happens when we come in here to photo reviews. I got to look at everything. Is it
It's like a Ferris wheel, or it looks like
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
or some kind of antenna or something, dish? I don't know. It's cool. Sorry, got to look at everything. All right. Next.
nice.
This is Luis Pierre. Here's a resplendent Quetzal in Costa Rica. Shot with the D500, the 2-500 at 400 millimeter. He held it over his knees, on his knees for stability. Shot it at 7.1, 1/25 of a second, ISO 1600. That is a beautiful bird, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I love the green. Beautiful bird.
It looks like it has lettuce hanging on it, you know.
Man.
One of these days, I'll get to Costa Rica.
Wait a minute.
That'd be one heck of a trip for sure.
Yeah.
There we go. It's a beautiful bird, man. It looks like something that Roy has down there on his balcony. Nice shot. Nice shot. Again, I don't know, man.
Colors.
I'm thinking, if I put that in the animal auction or the bird auction, I'm over plotting how I'm going to make money with it.
I tell you, man, I love these exotic birds. You know, that guy that does the birds of paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic birds. And there was a Neil Rogers was trying to get the first flight of one of them big eagles in Africa or something. One of the biggest ones.
The harpy eagle.
Yeah,
The one that captures monkeys.
Tree blind for 6 months, every day.
Man.
You know, just to get that bird, that little chick flying for the first time. It was incredible. And these birds in these forests, like in Costa Rica and stuff, I would love to try it.
I would too. I mean, come on. How can you take well, I guess you can, but you're walking around, you got birds of, like this with the colors that they have. Mm-hmm. I got pigeons and, blackbirds, and the most resplendent bird I have back there is a red-winged blackbird.
You know what's funny though is people from places like this see our birds and they say the same thing though.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wow, that thing's cool. It's a blue jay." Well, yeah, it's real cool, all right.
Stick around for a while, he'll cut you out.
Yeah.
It's funny though. People that when you're not from an area, you see other birds. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
I mean, it's funny the feathers on the lower half of the body going down, almost look like leaves.
Yeah, they mimic the leaves to the right.
They really don't look like feathers. They kind of look like leaves.
The resplendent quetzal in Costa Rica. There you go.
Splendid image.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Luis. Love it.
Wonderful
Good job.
All right. Next up. Oh, Mr. Real Nikon Lover, Jim. Here's your photo, Jim. He said this is out at Denali Mountain Range in Alaska, taken from the back seat of a twin-engine Piper. There you go.
Wow.
Nice.
Interesting story on the photo. I'm an amateur hobbyist shooting Nikon cameras since 1985. Just bought the Z9, having upgraded from the D850. Nice shot. Nice shot, Jim.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't even like looking out the window of a plane.
I'm so scared of heights. I don't want to. I'll tell you, I'm beyond crazy when it comes to heights. It does not work for me at all. I wouldn't be able to take that shot from a plane.
I'm a deer stand is high enough.
Yeah.
Gustavo talking about the last photo. He said it's a difficult photograph to take in the jungle. You know what? I hadn't even considered that, but you're right because of the canopy. It's
great. Something to probably witness something to that magnitude in person. I mean, I know we have drones now that can get shots like that, but if you can witness that in a plane, like that's just something else. That's something wild.
Yeah.
Where'd you go, Jim? I thought you were in here earlier.
I love how it looks, but I'm glad I wasn't on the plane taking it.
That's cool.
More guts than me, man. I get scared driving over bridges, for crying out loud.
Daryl says he loves photos from heights like that. Gustavo says fantastic. Oh, here he is. Here's Jim. I had air sickness and was recovering from food poisoning at 13,000 feet. You had a sound mind and thought, I got to get this photo though. That's pretty cool.
Good job. Very good.
Thank you, Jim, Thank you for sending it. Let's see. What do we have up next? We have, this would be a big surprise.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute. Yeah, here we go.
Cool praying mantis.
If you want to believe in aliens, there he is right there.
Yeah.
Who said you can't use a super telephoto for a macro lens?
That's an 800 millimeter praying mantis, huh, Jeffrey?
Tell us, Jeffrey. He says your settings were what, 1 12/50th of a second, f10, ISO 4000, taken on the Z9 with the 800 PF lens. There you go.
No, that's not my picture.
Oh, what, how did I get them? Or wait a minute. This might be let me go back and look.
I'm trying to figure, is he that color or is it sunlight?
I think it's that color.
This is Jim's second photo. He did send in 2 photos. So I did not get all the information for this photo. Sorry about that, Jim. Sorry about that, folks.
Because all the ones I've seen were either brown or green. I've never seen an orange one.
Yeah, it's well, it could be brown, but the sun's probably hitting it just right.
Jeff and Leslie says it's a Carolina mantis.
Carolina mantis. There you go. Jeff would know.
Everything's got to be different in the Carolinas.
I wonder how true the old saying goes, the myth about the female eating the head off the male after they do the dirty
That's
deed.
not a myth. That's true.
Is it true?
That's real.
Ooh.
That's the real deal.
They're also really good hummingbird killers.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
That's the real deal, man. The guys don't have a chance.
Nope.
Yeah, I just have bonjour, ladies.
Going out with a bang.
It's almost like real life for humans is kind of like that too. If you're not good to the wife, you may not wake up in the morning and your head's laying on the floor, man.
So the Black Widow does that too, right? The female. What if you put a female Black Widow and a female mantis together?
There's some wild YouTube videos that you can see of people just putting
for a long time
different like cricket, different wildlife into like a jar or a can or something. Yeah. And they'll go at it.
Yeah, D Moose is getting us all in trouble here. He said they just talk for a long time. I'm not laughing at that, honey. I'm not laughing.
My only reason why I said that, my wife's sleeping.
All right. Oh, here we go. Here's Jeffrey. I'm sorry, Jeffrey.
Z Wade's listening in on somewhere saying, that's why I'm single.
Exactly.
Oh boy. Yeah, this one's mine.
All right, so you got the babies in the nest.
Nice.
Yeah, so there were 3 babies in the nest.
Hey Jeff, and, was this taken from your last video you put up? Yeah. It looks familiar. It looks really good. Really good shot.
This was only a couple weeks ago, and I was there was like probably 5 of us shooting at the same nest, and as far as I know, I'm the only one that got it with the fish. My arms were getting tired. I was just holding the lens up so long with the 800, and I think I probably had the longest reach of everybody. So I was able to actually get it big enough where you could see it with the fish. So I got lucky, but my arms were tired because I did have my arms up for quite a while. But I think I said this was 1/1250th of a second at f10 and ISO 4000, if I remember right. Now the reason I shot at f10 was because the background was really far away, and I figured, well, the background's going to get blurry even if I stop it down, and I wanted to guarantee that the eyes of both the adult and the baby's heads and everything were as sharp as I could get them. So I said I could get away with stopping it down like that, and ISO 4000 on a Z9 is no big deal. So that's what I ended up with, and it was fun. I mean, it was and that was like probably, I'm guessing, maybe 10:30 in the morning. So what was interesting about that location was the trees were in the swamp, and they were located sporadically, the ones that were actually growing out of the swamp. And the opposite side of this tree cluster would have been too bright, but the sun would have been on the left-hand side of this photo. And by the time you got to the other side of the tree where the nests were, the lighting was perfect. You didn't have to, the lighting was good. So if you were on one side, the lighting was so-so. You're on the other side, the lighting was perfect. So you just have to move around and try to find some protected spots where you can not have everything blown out. So
it's good that you can be at that level because all the nests around here in my area are way up at the top of the trees.
It's another good example of environmental shots too.
Yeah, and that's what Jay Smith was asking. How did you get level with the nest?
Actually, I'm shooting up, to be honest with you.
That's one thing about
shooting up.
A super telephoto lets you get away with that to some extent too.
Yeah, if they're far enough away and you shoot up, sometimes it's hard to tell that you're actually shooting up.
Yeah, but this was shooting up, but I mean not up like this, but probably like like this.
Okay, yeah.
But it was fun. It was a good day. I had no complaints.
All right, Jeffrey. All right, we're gonna take a couple more, and then I'm gonna because I'm dancing a jig here in my chair. But
Greg wants to know if I was sitting on a drone. I don't think a drone. I think I would exceed the weight limits of the drone unless it's from the Air Force or something.
All right, coming up next, Mr. David Stewart, being creative. And David said, he shot this at f/18, 1/60th of a second, ISO 200, 45 millimeter. David, you want to add the rest there? You want to fill in the blanks? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Looks
it looks like ice.
Ice, yeah.
It does.
It looks like ice.
With some snow on top of it.
A little bit of snow, yeah.
And rocks frozen in the ice or something. It's cool. Hang on a second.
It's like if you pan up, you're going to see a scene from like Halloween or something.
Hang on a second. All right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to turn off the sound here.
Okay.
I'll get out of this anyway. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead,
I
David.
turned off the feed. Okay. Anita and I were out on Abrams Lake. It's close to Banff National Park. And there was more than a meter of ice on the lake, and those bubbles that you see are methane bubbles.
Oh, okay.
There's something decomposing on the bottom of the lake, and I don't know if that's from vegetation that's down there, or it could be from vegetation that like you get from natural gas or whatever. But anyway, and it happens certain places on this lake. And the ice was not smooth. And I was looking for a smooth place. And I was out there for probably 3/4 of an hour seeing what I could find. But I titled this as Faces, because there are a number of faces that you can see,
okay,
provided you're on the proper pharmaceuticals. And I don't mean anything that's illegal, But anyway, you just got to look at it. And I submitted this for her Photo Club Vancouver, and everybody there is very artistic, and they were seeing many more faces than I could see.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a good shot, and I used a fair bit of depth of field so you could see more. But it was a little bit cooler outside than Jeff likes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I found out one thing today that I told Jeff about, is that my camera has Snowman eye detect. Yeah. And he kind of figured that we should advertise that, or at least the manufacturer should.
Don't give Simon over at Ordinary Filmmaker any ideas.
Yeah.
No, but it actually did. And I got the picture to prove it.
Yeah.
But I know, like, Tim and I had a discussion about this, and the Dragon Eye Detect does not work. But the Snowman Eye Detect does. And but anyway, it was lots of fun being out there, and it was cool. But it was a nice, warm, sunny day.
Well, definitely well done.
It was great.
Cool photo, David. Cool photo.
Yeah,
it's neat. Look, like you said, looking for faces or whatever.
Yeah, and the big thing with this is you got to title it properly.
Yep.
You know, and I think that putting the proper title onto a photograph is probably 10 or 20% of the photograph.
I agree.
That way you get the people looking at it properly. And Chuck, did you order your Z8 yet?
Yeah, it's going to make me a better photographer. So, yep.
I know it's going to make you a poorer photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I ordered mine 2 weeks ago. So.
No, she won't let me. The lady out there won't let me do it until there's something official. No matter how obscure it is, you know, just like with the Z9, the fact that B&H put it up on their website and that was it. That was back in March, you know, of that year when they came up with a development announcement. So she's just waiting for something a little more concrete. She wants to make it fair across the board for everybody because there it's first come, first serve. And I think that's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you. Millions wouldn't, but I believe you.
Yeah, there you have it.
Anyway, thank you very much. And I'll go back to the live feed because I don't know how to turn the sound off on this thing. Anyway, talk to you later. Okay, bye.
Take it easy.
Talk to you
See you,
later.
David.
Bye, David.
Thanks.
Yeah, David calls me up, is kind enough to give me a call once in a while, and we'll talk for a while. And I always ask him how cold it is where he is, and it's like, okay, better you than me. I give him credit. He out there freezes his butt off like he does to get those Aurora Borealis shots and everything. So, you know, he's dedicated to his craft, that's for sure.
David's real good people. He's always fun too. All right. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. I think I got a submission from Anita too. So we'll see. I think I remember her photo. All right. This is Nick. Nick was at a wedding in DC at St. Anne Catholic Church. He says D850 500 PF, 5.6, obviously, ISO 1250, shutter 1/60th of a second, color temp 4170, and in parentheses he says the lighting was horrible, a horrible orange. Yeah, that's a trick in a lot of places, especially a lot of these church interiors that are wood interiors.
Man, and a D850 too. That's a loud camera.
Yeah.
I bet that guy heard that clunk.
Yeah. The D850 has a very distinctive sound.
Yep.
Tat, 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 tat.
But what did he say? What lens was it?
I'm sorry.
What lens did he say?
The 500 PF.
Oh, okay. So he was back there. He was back a ways. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Daryl says, "Wow, brought a 500 PF to a wedding."
He must have been in the cheap seats, as they say.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Daryl, I like that. I like bold people, man. You break trends, you know.
Well, I take my big lenses to everything too, but not for the event. I'm waiting to see something else outside or something.
Yeah.
The wedding I used to go to, you brought a big one to get the fight that broke out later on.
Well, Nick, I mean, you did a good job here battling if you didn't do anything else in post, if it was just all in camera, that's pretty incredible because I know how it is inside venues. Everybody here knows.
Oh, yeah.
You go inside some places, it's just horrible. You can't even begin to match the white balance.
And he didn't blow out the highlights with the DA50 either.
No.
Yeah.
No, and he got good. The color in the guy's face is natural. It's not, out of whack or anything. So, he did good.
Luke says everyone in the pews must have turned around and laughed. I'm telling you, man, that's pretty bold to take a D850 into there.
It is.
He might be by the door, so when they come after me, he can take off real quick.
He can run. Yep, absolutely. Well, good on you, Nick. Good on you, man. And thanks for
That's a good pick.
All right, I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to take a break. Everybody can go get a beverage or their choice or whatever it is they want. I'll be stirring the bucket with all the names in it for the 800 PF that's sitting out on the porch, I hope. So one more here, and then we will. Oh, I already got that. I did that last week, by the way. Okay, so
cool.
Here you go. I'd asked, I said I knew I remembered Anita submitting a photo. So here is Anita's photo. First time photographing twirling motion of lights after dark, taken with my Z6 II, the Z24 to 70 f4 lens, ISO 400, 1/5 of a second, exposure at f4.5. So, that's the other thing about these photos. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that is extremely sharp.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that. Is she spinning like a lighted hula hoop around her?
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah.
I don't
that's
know.
Crazy.
And Anita may be in here. Let's see. Anita, are you here? I hope so. But yeah, it's a cool photo. I like it. Again, I'm back to, light painting can be a lot of fun.
Well, and that one there is actually light painting where the person's actually doing it, not the photographer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that one's cool.
Oh, Nita says she's here. Good shot. Anita, you did good. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Gives it a retro kind of look. Really cool.
Hey guys, we'll pause for just a second. Vahagan from his venue. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother? Just waiting for the ceremony to start. How's the live stream?
Hey, did you take a 500 PF to the wedding? Because we just saw a shot at a wedding with a 500 PF, so you better have one of those with you.
Yeah.
No, but
yeah. Is that the 85?
105.
Oh, 105. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got all the cameras here, but 3 cases, man. Look. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, cables. Sorry. Right there. Yeah. More here. Okay. And more here. And there's the ceremony site.
Man, it's a big wedding.
Wow.
Yep. This is the ceremony site. The ballroom is after this.
Yeah.
You having fun?
Yeah, we're just taking a little break. We just had all the family formals done here. Big groups, man. It took about an hour and a half to do all the families.
Wow. You didn't run into the second photographer, did you?
No, not that one. No. But here's the guys right here. Here's one video crew, and then here's the other one. This handsome man right here. young buck.
Yeah. Man, never let go of you.
There's enough chairs in there. You think you're at a rock concert or something.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be an event.
It's a big one.
Wow.
Hey, Wayne, welcome in, buddy. You're welcome to join us if you like. Anita, we'll be right with you to talk about your photos some more. But Vahagan joined us just long enough to during his break. He's shooting a wedding.
I will connect again at the reception if you guys are still on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like
Good
fun.
luck. Good luck with everything.
Rock and roll.
Thank you, man. I'm beat, but it's a good time. I started at about what did we start? 12? 12 o'clock.
Wow. Long day.
Yep.
They got a whole buffet table over there, sushi, everything out there.
Man,
that's just appetizers.
Making me hungry.
Yeah, they go all out. This is a Persian Jewish wedding.
Wow.
So, yeah. All right, guys, have fun. I'll connect with you at the reception. Rock and roll.
All right,
take it easy.
Oh, come on, do good, man.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you.
That's that's definitely one thing I have mad respect for as wedding photographers, because that's a whole nother beast, man.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother beast. Yep.
Pray for me if you ever see me shooting one. Because I hit rock bottom.
All right.
Anita, as we said, Anita, you did a great job with the shots. Cool.
Yeah, and you've got some. I see a lot of people over here been chatting with you in the chat. Great capture, well balanced. Nick is here now. Okay, Nick, your 500 PF was a big hit with us at the wedding. That was cool, buddy. Craig, he's saying, Anita, did you use flash for that shot? So we'll wait for her answer. But yeah, it's cool. Anita, could you tell us what kind of lights you were using? I think that's one of the things. Again, if this is if these are things that inspire us, if we know what you're doing, then people can take that idea, that concept, and play with it themselves. But this is another motivator to go out and play with some light painting. But I'm at a loss for these lights. I like them; they're cool looking, and I think everybody's been asking. Did you? I think David said something about. She was twirling the lights and trying to keep her body still. Well, I'll tell you what, she did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
No flash, natural light, or keyboard went south. Oh,
okay.
Answering for. Okay.
All right. Well, it's a great photo, Anita. And again, thank you very much. She said now no flash.
There she's back. Yeah.
Yeah. But what kind of light? That's one thing I think everybody'd be interested in.
It looks
curious.
like it's like a round hula hoop type thing that probably changes colors.
I think it's one of them LED hula hoops.
That's cool.
What's behind her? Like on the ground. What is that? That's illuminated.
Some other hula hoops laying there.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. Yeah. God, I didn't even notice that. Jeez.
And on her dress or something down there in the center, it must have been static lights that may have been on her skirt or something that are you can see them dancing around there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very artistic. I like it.
Yeah, that's neat.
Really cool.
I likes it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to run to the little boys' room. I'm going to refill my coffee cup because, I'll have to go to the little boys' room again.
I've got to run as well, guys. I'm going to jump off of here for the night. I've been pretty zapped from doing this remodel job, and I'm going to go lay flat.
All right, buddy.
All right, David.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll out too, guys. I got that shoot tomorrow, so.
Oh, hey, have a good one, Joe.
Yeah,
all right.
Just don't fall into a box, David. Don't fall into a box.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I subbed to your channel. I was just checking it out. Very
thank
cool.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just subbed it.
So all the folks in here, hate to see you go, David, but I know you need to. I know you've been busting your hump working on the house and everything, but go over and check out D Moots Photography here on YouTube. D Moots Photography, David Moots. And, consider a like and a sub on his videos there. Also, we're going to lose Mr. Joe Stroud. Joe Stroud doesn't have anything. He hides all his work. You'll have to sub with me so you can watch. Stroud. No, I'm just kidding.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
he's just being coy lately. Get it? He's just being coy lately.
All right, guys. Hey, it's good seeing everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, take care, Dave.
See you,
Joe.
Joe, take it easy.
Have a good one.
Dave.
Joe, you were going to say, what do you got? You got something on Instagram, right?
No, just check my Instagram out. Give me a follow. Appreciate it.
What are you on Instagram?
Joe Stroud Photography.
Joe Stroud Photography. There you are. Check it out. Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, everybody says, well, and follow him, whatever. It's just a nice thing to do. I'll tell you right now, you want to follow Joe because Joe is, he's a creative photographer. I'll tell you, you'll love his work, I'm sure. But Joe, thanks for being in here tonight, man.
Yep. I'll catch the rest of it later and y'all have a good night.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, good night, Joe. Take it easy.
Take care. All right. All right, so we're down to us, and we can carry this. We can carry the banner. Kevin, glad to see you in here, and I didn't get a chance to introduce you. Kevin has a channel. I think I might have quickly introduced you. Kevin has a channel on YouTube, Kevin Nordstrom Photography. A lot of wildlife and other things, tips and tricks and things like that, and some of the philosophy behind wildlife photography and going out and shooting. A lot like Mr. Jeffrey Neville there at Selective Imagery. But I'm going to leave Anita's photo up here for right now. Guys, I'm going to run to the little boy's room, as I always do. Those of you that are in the chat, here's a good chance. Go grab something out of the fridge or whatever it is, your favorite beverage or whatever, and we will be right back. Unless, Jeff, you want to carry on with everybody in the chat, that's fine, or
yeah,
Kevin.
Well, I got a little bit of drink left, so I'll look through the comments and see if there's.
We'll hold down the house.
All right.
We'll hold down the house.
All right, gentlemen. I'll be right back.
All right. Hey, Jeff, do you think that
sure you don't lose any subscribers while you're gone, Chuck?
Was that one of your first?
We'll do an April Fool's joke. Say everybody unsubscribe now. Let's do
it. That's funny. Was one of your first thoughts, Jeff, when you saw that photo? Did you think that it looked like hula hoops?
Well, because the shape is consistent, it has to be some kind of a hoop, because if it was like something she was spinning, it would not have that same shape all the way through.
Yeah, because I've seen some people do that with like flashlights and stuff, but it's always it's not a perfect, shape like that consistently, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat.
I like the artistic side of that. I mean, it's really cool when people go out of the norm and try something different, and it's always cool to brainstorm new ideas in photography.
Oh, Jason, going way back, Jason Michael's photography said he was in the Air Force and he thinks the Space Force might have a drone that can lift me up off the ground. I was going to say, Anita, go ahead.
Anita just said that they were hula hoops.
Okay. Yeah, when David Stewart said, "Oh, we got the methane gas underneath the water here," I was going to say, well, that's where Jason from Friday the 13th is in there.
Right. Oh, that's just great.
Isn't he always in a lake or something, and he always comes out, if I remember right?
I think so, yeah. David Stewart said that was during a winter festival in Calgary. We go outside in the colder months. I hear you.
Yeah, I never tried light painting. I mean, I've seen people that go, they'll go to a desert and they'll light paint the cactuses and stuff like that, and some of the rocks that might be on the ground, near the cactus or whatever, and those are really neat photos.
I'd love to see. I know it's not light painting, obviously, but it's the Northern Lights. I would love to capture that one day. It's just something that.
Well, that's where Mr. Stewart. That is his specialty. He 90% probably. I don't want to speak for you, David, but I'd say 90% of the photos he takes are the Aurora Borealis, and he is great at that. I mean,
I can drive about 3 hours north and I'll be able to see them. I've just never been able to do it. I just never gotten the desire to do it, because I think it's only during the winter months, I think like November to March or April or something like that you're able to capture them. And but I would love to at least experience it once in my life. Oh, thank you, Craig. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I think this year they were saying that they were going to be more, I don't know if it was in the last month or whether it was just a general statement as in this year they were going to be better than usual, or if it was something that was just like in the last month where it was going to be exceptionally colorful or whatever. So I remember reading something about it or seeing something about it.
Hey David, I'm along Lake Erie in Ohio near Sandusky, right along the shores of Lake Erie. And I take my kids and my wife up to Grand Haven, Michigan, and Ludington, Michigan, and a lot of those areas along the lakeshore up there, about a 3 or 4 hour drive. And I know that area points that area, and then north, you can typically see the northern lights.
Yeah, I've met a few people that do night photography, and surprisingly, there's an area near the state park I go to that it's only like about a half a mile up the road where a guy I know will go there really, really, really early in the morning, before the sun comes up. And he says he can get some good photos from there, which is surprising because it's not like Myrtle Beach doesn't have its share of light pollution, but
oh, for sure. Yeah.
In that area, you're basically shooting out from the marsh. So you're shooting out from the ocean. So you don't really, you're not like shooting in a residential area. So he enjoys doing that. And everybody that I've run into that do that kind of photography, and I think David uses the same lens, is a lot of people love that 20 millimeter 1.8 lens for doing night astrophotography and night photography. That seems to be one of the lenses of choice anyway. And that's not an overly expensive lens when you look at,
oh no,
what a lot of Nikon glass costs. I mean, that's an affordable lens.
Looking at all the chat going on here. All right, everybody ready to get back to the photo review? We got a few more to go through.
All righty.
And thank you for the lovely photo, Miss Anita. Appreciate that. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. All right, hang on just a second. Back over here. And this is Andre McAuliffe. It's at the Malta Jazz Festival with his Nikon Z9, the 200 f2 at 1/200th of a second ISO 360. So I love the black and white. I like the bokeh balls in the back. It's cool. A lot of people will say, I thought about this when I saw the photo. It's the back of the bass player. There is a guy, and I can't remember his name. I saw him quite a few years ago on B&H, that he buys photos. The only photos he will buy are photos of the back of people, the back of their head or the back of the people. I don't know what it is about it, but that's what he collects. And I thought immediately about that when I saw that interview with him with this photo. But man, the black and white looks fantastic though.
Yeah, it gives that seriousness look, like you can almost hear the photo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely enough detail in it, no doubt about that. I mean, even the base, but the lights in the background are what really make it. I mean, I think. Nice job, Andre. Let's see, who do we have up next? Let's go to the next photo here. This is Jeff. Jeff and
that
Leslie
one woke me
Wildlife.
up. Yeah, that woke me up.
From black and white to this. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeff, that is cool. And I'll let you explain it if you want, but he says it's with his R7 and the macro lens, which he just got. He just got his R7 and the macro lens. So he's out using it. And I think that's great. He says, I call it where some see weeds, I choose to see wildflowers. So, let's see.
Yeah, Jeff and Leslie managed to find every wildflower out there, and what amazes me is they know what they all are. And when I take flower pictures, and I'll just be a dummy, and I'll just say this is a flower, and then I'll say, "Hey, Jeff and Leslie, let me know what this is, will you?"
Exactly.
And they tell me because.
And with his macro, it's close up of the dandelion, which I pegged that right off. I pulled enough of those out of my yard last year, but a macro photo makes all the difference in the world. As Gustavo says, it's intense, and it is. I like it.
It makes
macro photography
look nice, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. And again, this is another photo that Becky over at Grays of Westminster would enjoy. And she's probably never photographed a dandelion that way. So that's cool. Stuart says, now I've got a headache. Craig says it's mesmerizing.
Macro photography sure does open the doors for a whole new thing of nature photography, whole new world of photography and nature.
It does. And you either have an eye for it or you have to develop an eye for it to make it work.
And you need a lot of patience too.
Yep. All right, Jeff. Thank you, man. Appreciate
well done,
it.
Man.
Well done.
As always.
Absolutely.
I don't see Chuck. If you look at that every morning, you don't have to have coffee anymore. That'll wake you up, man.
Well, I got to tell you, you really can't grasp the detail in it, and it makes it that much more interesting. You see this on a giant screen because of all the detail that's in it. It's fantastic. Kudos on that lens, Jeff. No doubt about it.
Hope he's enjoying that R7 too.
Yep. I think he is. I really believe he is.
It's liking it, obviously, learning curve and a little bit different, but the results speak for themselves, don't they? But a lot of that's the artist behind the camera.
Sith's doing multiple streams at the moment. Just looking here and see all the comments before I move on. Says he's liking the camera, lots to learn, but getting there. Yeah, that's with any camera. So absolutely.
Well done, Jeff. Well done on the photo. Yep. Looks great.
All right. And another flower. This is Tim Hunter. And I love this too. Let me find my cursor so I can pull it up here. So he says, shot with a Z6 II with a 105 1.8 macro S at 1/200th of a second at f/20, ISO 100 with an off-camera flash SB 5000. That is a cool photo too, man. I love the color in it.
Yeah, I love the colors.
Oh, I'm assuming you must have dialed down the power on the flash quite a bit, because you're either that or you pulled down the background and made it darker. But it looks like you just gave it just that enough kiss of light,
Almost looks like a bumblebee or something that's going to come in and frame.
Exactly. That's what you would
wonderful
anticipate.
Shot, though.
Yep. Yeah, I like the lighting in it too, Craig. I think it's great. The color and the lighting is fantastic.
Now here's another flower where I got to say I don't know what it is. Okay, Jeff and Leslie, what kind of flower is this? Or Tim, what is it? I just say it's a flower. I'm not wrong when I say that. It's a flower.
I like what Jeff said. Though in a previous comment about how macro photography does slow you down, because it's just one of those things that's like you got to pay attention to the smallest details when you get down to that level of the earth. it just causes you to slow down. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Nick. It's got that 70s era thing going. I don't know what it is, but the orange, you're right. The orange and the dark red, it's cool.
Yeah,
he says,
like the color.
He says, I have no idea. Was taken in the first dome in Singapore. Okay. A treasure flower is what Jeff is guessing. I'm with you, Jeff. It's a flower. Poisonous. Ed Roy. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah, probably all the flowers in Australia are poisonous. Everything else is, right?
Beautiful photo, though. Beautiful photo. I want to go back here. Here we go. All right. So this is Daryl Harrington. Single image taken on September 11, 21, which was the 20th anniversary of the 9/11, of 9/11, D850, 80 to 400 at 180 millimeter, 25 seconds at f8, ISO 64. Image was taken from a pier in Bayonne, is it New Jersey? Isn't that it? Across the harbor? Yeah, from the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is included. I've been photographing tribute lights every year since 2011 and have only missed 1 year due to the fact that I had broke my heel bone a few weeks prior. I included the second picture, which I'll show you here in a minute, just so those that have never been able to see the lights in person can see just how powerful they are. Yeah, hang on a second here. Let me just go ahead and jump to that, and let me make sure we're zoomed out. Yeah. All right. So let's jump to it, and look how small the city is and how bright those lights are, how high they go. That's extraordinary, man. That's a cool photo right there.
It really is.
That's a 6 foot print, so that you get the full effect of the lights there. That would be so cool, man.
Those are the type of photos that, like, especially that pano one of the city.
Yeah.
It's just, I would love to just buy and put on like my wall in a man cave or something.
Yep.
It would just be perfect for that. Outstanding job.
Yeah. Fantastic, Daryl. And I really like the full view of the lights too. Both. Yeah. It's one of those, they're both great. You'd want both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what's nice with this too, and it's is what helps too is every building is different heights, so everything is staggered. It's not like, everything is even all the way across. I mean, it really makes it a lot more interesting shot.
Yep.
It's really cool though, also, is because like you don't even have to be from that area or even that state. It's like everybody has a part of that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they can truly understand and feel that. It's like one of those photos you feel that.
Well, there are a couple of things in here that are so iconic. The Statue of Liberty. Everybody here, at least here in the U.S., has a connection with that. And the 9/11 tribute towers and the lights, we all have a connection with that as well.
Right.
So, and just the skyline of New York City. Come on. I mean, that is iconic. So, yeah, there's a lot in this photo. Nice shot, Daryl. Nice shot, man. And thanks for including this one too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, nuts. Were you with somebody or were you brave enough to go out there by yourself and take that picture? Because I know I get real nervous where I live going out. I don't shoot out alone at night. I mean, I always have somebody with me. I don't know if you were brave enough to do that on your own or not.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees. That's just a fantastic photo, both of them. Let's see. Let me get my card ready to go for the next photo. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, buddy. All right. This is Dana Garrett. It's at the Jefferson Memorial, Washington, D.C. Nikon D40, 1/1000th of a second, f8, ISO 200, Nikon 18 to 55. Here you go. A kit lens at 55 millimeter DX. I love this. I love the tones in it. I love everything. This is another one of those photos that's just, you know, it may not be for everybody, but I keep asking people, you know, about things like selling these to hotels. I mean, this is the kind of photo that, you know, they're always looking for different decors and things like that. But I really like this. I love the marble. I love the processing in black and white, and it's got a bit of grain to it. I like that. But here you go. Shot on a D40. So yeah, the Z8 is going to make me a better photographer, though. That's the only reason I'm buying it.
Yeah, the texture and the angle.
Yep.
Just it tells a story. It's really wonderful. I love it.
Thank you, Dana. Appreciate it.
Well done. You know, I like, you know, it's really nice. It just draws you in, and you're just like following the lines and looking at the patterns, you know, in the marble or whatever. It just really just makes you look at it for quite a while. I like it.
And again, the nice thing about it is if you could see this on a large screen, there is an incredible amount of detail that you just want to continue to look around. And
it makes you appreciate architecture. You know what I mean? When you see photos like this, because the everyday person just kind of walks by a lot of this types of stuff, and just to capture that kind of a look kind of really draws the eyes and the viewer in to kind of slow down and appreciate architecture.
I agree. I think it's a great photo.
Yep.
All right. So Castile Diallo, this is a Monet themed photo. I was experimenting with different movement patterns with the camera, with his Nikon D610. He had the 80 to 200 on it at 2.8. I'm sorry, it's at f4, but the 80 to 200, 2.8, shutter speed, half a second, f4, possibly. He can't remember exactly. And so this is that creative stuff, and it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I appreciate you taking the chance and actually experimenting and trying this. I did this at a wedding. I shot my stepdaughter's friend's wedding. It was an impromptu outdoor, no people really anyway. And I took what I thought was a very creative photo with just dragging the shutter, and it made it I don't know, something like this, abstract photo, but you could tell that the two individuals were standing there in the front, but it was covered with flowers everywhere. So anyway, the long story short is they didn't like it. So I guess it's a good thing I took a real photo. But then again, I took another photo of them standing behind a screen door, an old screen door, and did it in black and white, and they loved it. They fell in love with that, you know, so there you go. Who knows? But yeah, man, I like the colors. And I'm also reminded that Grays of Westminster, again, you can't tell I watch them from time to time, can you? Becky was just talking about some flower show that's going on over there where they do this. And I can't remember the title that they use for taking photos of flowers like this. But so it is a thing. It really is a thing. So there are people out there that like that. So
I really like the bright colors.
Yeah.
Good on you,
Craig makes a good comment. It would make a nice background for portraits.
Yeah, it absolutely would. Let me see. I'm just looking at the comments, folks. I know you guys are as well.
His Bigfoot in this photo.
It's Bigfoot. Yeah, exactly.
Where's Waldo? Waldo's in there somewhere. Where's Waldo?
Right, right.
Just checking I want to make sure I stay up on the comments, guys. I know that Jeffrey and Kevin are doing that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what Craig says here. Great photographers, artists take chances like this. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You know what? I love that mentality because so many photographers, we do this all the time, and we want to stay in sometimes we want to stay in our little bubble of conformity where we are afraid to step out and do something different like this because we're afraid of maybe what other people will think of our art. And we need to always remember and go back to photography is art and our art is subjective. So well done. Well done.
Yeah. And
no better time to experiment than once we hit the digital era where it doesn't cost you anything to experiment. You don't like it, you delete the file.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple as that.
Exactly. And just like somebody was saying, a background for a portrait or something like that, talking about composite, I mean, this image, gives you a lot of opportunities to do some kind of composite with it as well. And so when I say, these photo reviews inspire me and I expect that they inspire others as well, it doesn't have to be taken just as this photo. I want to go out and try to do this, but it gives me an idea of, could I be taking photos like this, different photos or whatever, and saving them for composites for something. And yeah, man, I get tired of the photographers that only shoot for photographers. It just aggravates me to death. The pixel peepers and the whatever, and the composition isn't to their liking and so on and so forth. Well, you know what? I shoot for me, and I would hope that everybody will do that, unless you're doing some kind of paid work where you have to do something different. But man, shoot for yourself and don't worry about what photographers are going to say. So, my hat's off to you on this photo because you took a chance and it worked.
Yep.
Because we're not the stodgy people that are, well, it doesn't make any sense. It's out of focus. No kidding. You think it might be? You think?
Yeah.
Maybe it was intended. So anyway, thanks for giving us a peek into this. And again, now I've got something else to think about.
Well done.
I need to start.
Well, you'll be able to get shots like that, Chuck, when you get your Z8.
Yeah, because it will make me a better photographer. I'm poking fun at myself for the folks that don't know, because everybody asks me that. Is it going to make you a better photographer? I've decided now to answer that with yes. Yes, it will. And then, of course, they're going to say, well, no, it won't. But I can listen to them go on for hours trying to convince me that it won't. I know that, but I'm not going to tell them.
100%, Stuart. Learn to think outside the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% agree.
All right. So this one is a great photo. This is absolutely fantastic photo. I want everybody to know Greg Wilson took this. I don't know if you guys can see the bottom, but the squirrel is holding a little tag there. No April fooling around. Please like and subscribe to AP Studios. Thank you very much, Greg.
What a way to plug.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you, Greg. And by all means, give the squirrel some more peanuts for hanging upside down and holding that little sign. I'm sure he was thrilled to do it. But no kidding, no fooling around. Yes, please like and subscribe. But, I love the likes. It always makes me happy. I love seeing that you guys are enjoying what we're doing here. I see what we're doing. It's not what I'm doing. It's what we're doing. So, all right. But yeah, too funny, buddy. It really is. You're hanging off of a sunflower. Thanks, Greg. I really appreciate it. Let's see. That's creativity. There you go, Sith. You're absolutely right. That's what I told him too. That is creative. Where is your shirt? Yeah, I guess I'll get it out here real quick. This is usually where people leave the stream. But yes, my t-shirt that my lovely bride got me for Christmas. I say it every time because she is my lovely bride. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Absolutely. We're just one big happy family here. All right. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. That is creative, man.
If you don't like and subscribe, an M&M somewhere is melting.
Yeah, I noticed you guys haven't caught that yet tonight. I don't have any M&Ms, and I did not know that until it was too late.
You feeling all right, Chuck?
Man, no, I'm not, because I don't have any M&Ms. Craig says, "How'd you get the squirrel to hold the sign so nicely?" When he sent me that,
Chuck,
I thought,
I had to go out and make a shirt for myself, as you could see in the picture here. Not as nice, nowhere near the quality of what you got, mind you, but I had to do a little
cool.
self-promotion.
I see that.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like I told my wife I'm a walking billboard, so I did the front of the shirt and the back.
Cool.
Differently, but I got the subscribe, my logo, for my show, and I got subscribe, and then I got the name of the channel underneath, and then on my back, I don't know if I can, probably won't be able to see it unless I bend down here.
No, yeah, we can see it.
Yeah,
it's
really cool,
yep.
Man.
Yeah.
I like it.
I walk the streets and people throw rocks at me now, but that's all right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. So we're running down to the end here. Let's see. Millerad. He just sent this in right before, well, not right before the show, but today. So this is taken with an ND filter a while ago. Of course, camera's a Z6, lens is a 21.8, which a lot of people love that lens, at 6.3, exposure 30 seconds, and ISO 100. That's a beautiful photo. I like the coconut in the foreground. Cool. It's just a peaceful photo. It almost looks like an ad. It's definitely an ad.
Makes me want to jump through the screen and be there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people that like to be there now, especially if you're up in New England, huh, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah. I'd like to have a beach chair, kind of like in the middle there, with a beer in my hand would be nice,
Yep.
Wow, man, Jim, you did not have to do that, brother. Again, here's where I turn red, so you guys can just watch it happen. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. Wow. Amazon.
I like that picture. That would be a good. What's that Mexican beer that they always advertise with
Dos Equis, or
on the beach scenes there.
Yeah.
Can't think of it.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to remember. I thought it was Dos Equis. Maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Brain fart. I'm having a brain fart.
No, Corona.
Yep.
Yeah, Corona. Yeah, Corona.
Yeah.
Bad
That's
word
funny.
for a while, but
yeah. That would be a good backdrop for a Corona commercial right there. Yeah.
Ain't Snoop Dogg the one that's in those commercials?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Snoop Dogg.
That's funny.
Roy says 21.8, great lens. Yeah, I know a lot of people love that lens. And Joe Man's Land, that picture is dope.
Love Joe.
I love the interesting elements in the front and how it flows to the background. Absolutely, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah,
the texture of the rocks and everything.
Yep. It's a good eye, There you go.
It really is.
Wayne says, I wish I was there instead of choking on smoke here in Chiang Mai. Oh man. Corona. Everybody's answering Corona. Yep. Yeah. Great photo though. And I appreciate everybody that sends in every one of you sending in photos. I always appreciate it. All right. So we've got Kevin is going to have to take off here real soon. Kevin, you get through one more photo. I think we got one more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right. All right.
Drum roll.
Thank you very much. Actually, I have two more photos, but we'll go through them pretty quick here. Yep. And I don't want to skip over them too quickly, but yeah, beautiful photo here, Millerad. And so this is Long Rider. He sent this in. Nice. He didn't send me any of the data, but I'm sure this is with his 600 and his Sony A9 and his 600. Cool photo. Great stare. Jeff, how did you get it to stare right into your lens? You and D-Mood's got some secret sauce going on, man. But yeah, beautiful photo, buddy. What a beautiful bird.
Absolutely love taking shots of those guys. They're not easy to capture either. I mean, it's one thing to be, like I said, being out in the wild like that. I mean, it's because you also want to be careful of not getting too close, especially if you're, I mean, legally, you're not even supposed, there's a certain distance you can't even be away from the nest during, mating season and stuff like that. So, but that's just so hard to get a shot like that. It's phenomenal. I absolutely love it how it's actually looking at you too as it's coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, trouble is lots of times with the eagles is they'll follow the tree line, so you don't often get them in open space like this because lots of times they're hovering along the edge of the tree line, and you could get a shot of them from the side, with the trees 5 feet behind them or something, but
they don't call it eagle eye for nothing either.
Yeah, they don't always go out in the open like that. So
they'll see you a mile away.
Yeah.
Thanks, Long Rider. I appreciate it. It seems like I'm going to have a couple other photos to download, but I'll get through this last one with you, Kevin, and then I won't hold you up anymore. The next photo was taken by Rakesh, and I will give you the information, and I do like it. Yeah.
I like that too.
It's at Kinsua Bridge State Park, Pennsylvania. It was in 2022, August. It was with his Nikon Z7 II, 20 millimeter 1.8. There's that lens again.
Yeah.
At f2.2, 13 seconds. Cool photo. I love the rails. And he added a little story. I didn't copy it all down, but if you're in here, you're welcome to pass it on. Yeah. Shoot. Rakesh. Sorry. Tongue tied there for a minute. But I guess he heard some voices while he was out there taking the photo. It was a bit of a longer exposure, as he said, 13 seconds. And he heard some voices talking about get off the tracks or something like that. Very faint. He was wondering what's going on. I guess somebody was trying to warn him about the railroad tracks or something. But
I like the leading lines of the tracks, though, too.
Yeah. And, I like how it comes to a point like that.
Yep.
That is really cool.
Those shots are one of a kind too, because you got to get so far away from light pollution and all that, away from the city just to get those kinds of shots. It takes a little bit of work, but when you nail it like that, it's great. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely, I love it. Space People's in here. How you doing, Space People? So Wayne says that's a different look in black and white. He said, I'd like to see it in a color version as well. Yeah. Well, Rakesh, I like it. I told you that when you sent the photo. I like the leading lines. And, the only thing that I would say, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm not picking on the photographer. This is one of those shots you take it when you got it. And you're not going to move the Milky Way to line up right at the end of the tracks. But wouldn't that be cool if somehow the tracks were oriented so it just pointed right to the base of the Milky Way.
Yeah.
But still, man, still a fantastic photo. There's no way you can do that. So, you know, there's nothing on you. All right.
Very good, man.
Daryl says, great Milky Way shot. Every time I'm out shooting Milky Way, I hear things, usually animals in the bushes. Scares the crap out of me every time. I've done that too, right here behind my house. And I've got coyotes out here and a bobcat that entertains me sometimes in the late evening. And I often wonder if I'm out there doing night photography, if they're all circling me, going to make me dinner for the night. All right. Thank you very much, Rakesh. I'm going to have a couple more photos that I'm going to download here in just a minute. Mr. Mozman's got some photos. Sounds like Joey's got some photos. And if anybody else wants to throw some photos in here, I'll see if I can grab them real quick. If you want to do it in the next 5 minutes, we'll see if we can make it happen. But first, Kevin, thank you very much for being in here tonight. I enjoyed you being in here and talking about all the photos. You're a great guy. I like your channel. And again, folks, go over and check out Kevin Nordstrom Photography on YouTube. I think you'll enjoy it. Again, there's some philosophy and photography. There's tips and tricks and his photography and some video work on birds and different wildlife. So
much appreciated, Chuck. And for everybody who submitted a photo, you all are killing it, man. Great job. Y'all are wonderful photographers. Keep getting out there, take out with your camera, and just keep finding that joy in photography. So good night, Chuck. Good night, Jeff. And everybody, good night or good morning, wherever you're at in the chat. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, Kevin. Thanks, man. Yep. Have a great night.
Yep.
All right. And Jeffrey, if you would entertain folks for a minute while I run and grab these photos.
Yep, no problem. And we got, let's see. I'll tell you a funny story. I'm probably gonna put it in a future video. I know Roy made a comment on my last video and he says, where are the alligators? Roy likes alligators. So I told him my next video will have alligators. But the funny thing is, in the community I live in, you have signs that say near the retention ponds, it'll say alligators may live here. Well, at the state park, they had those same signs for probably decades, said alligators may live here. And the photographers, we used to joke, and I said, they're full of baloney. There's no may live here. They walk right across the street while you're standing there. I mean, there's no may. It's like they live there. So they recently changed the signs to basically say that alligators are there, you know, not they may be here, they are there. And I'm like, who was the rocket scientist that finally got smart and figured out put the real sign up that tells the truth? There's no maybe about it.
Hey, Moz, I'm just going to drag these up on the screen. It's going to be easier than me trying to, let me get this. If I can move this one out of the way for just a minute. Yeah, it's going to be easier this way for me to do this. So, and that's not going to work. All right, here we go. All right. So this is Mozman. He submitted a couple of photos. Here's one. Moz, I didn't even read what you were I didn't even read what you had sent, so I'll let you narrate. And we got Gustavo sent another one also. All right. But Moz, here you go, buddy. I like it. What kind of bird are we talking about here? It's pretty. I like it. And it's not showing up on the screen near as well as it does on The monitor, man, on the monitor, it's spectacular. It's a small pigeon, Stewart says. Yep. Just a finch in San Diego last weekend. Okay, what'd you shoot it with? It's cool. A chunky pigeon, Daryl says. He says he doesn't remember the exact kind. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, the colors do rock. I love the colors. That's why I'm saying, because there's so much yellow, but if you see it on the monitor, the yellow is really separated from the background. I wish you could see it. Beautiful. Yeah, the background's blown to pieces. So what did you shoot it with? Oh, here it is, Z9 and the 400-4.5. All right.
Yeah.
So the 404.5 did a great job of obliterating the background. That's great. A rainbow chickadee. That's what Joe says. All right. Hang on a minute, Maz. Let's go to number 2. I'll just leave that up there for right now. Here is number 2. Sorry, folks. This is just the easiest way to do this right now with last minute. But yeah, I like this. I like the black and white. I like the guy that's, building the sand octopus there. That's cool. Man, what are you drinking tonight? David said. That's cool. I like it. It's street photography in California. I mean, I'm not joking. That's I guess that would be street photography in California. I like it. It's of interest. Let's see. Take them with a Z6 II on Venice Beach. Can't remember the lens. Okay. It just seems to me that Venice Beach would be a great street photography place to go. I mean, there's so much going out there. You got so many people that are doing so many different things. Cool, though. I like it. Thanks, Maz. He's got his tip bucket over there. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like somebody stepped on one of its tentacles here on the front.
Yeah. Look at that painting behind him. There's something going on there too. This guy may be one of those savants, and yeah, I agree, Jim. It does look great in black and white. Cool. And this is it, man. Inspiration. Everybody inspiring, people inspiring others. Let me go back over here and find out, Joe, man, did Joe send? All right, I got Gustavo here. He sent another one. Oh, this is cool. You guys are going to like this. And let me, Jim sent a moon photo. All right, Jim, we'll pull that up in just a minute. And Joe, you say you sent a photo that must have been to Chucko Mail and not AP Studios. Let me go look real quick. Oh, we got several people. You guys didn't send them to AP Studios. Okay. All right. Let me grab Mr. Roy Bigsby. And I'll forget whose is whose by the time I get around to pulling them up on the screen. Stuart, got you too. We'll pull that up. All right. Joey. Oh, yeah. All right, Joey. Got you, buddy. All right, so I'm going to pull them up in the order, the reverse order as I download them. It's just going to make it easier for me. All right, Joey, I'm going to pull yours up first. And here we go. All right, Joey. This is Joey did a video on this dog sled, these dog sled folks. I'll let him explain it to you in the chat there. But yeah, nice action shot of the sledder, the musher or whatever they are with the snow kicked up there. And just a beautiful background. The colors are fantastic too, by the way. I love that. Joey, I'm going to let you talk about that for a second. I can't see the screen right now. I'm pulling up photos. So, and I love this photo of the dog, man. Who doesn't love a photo of a puppy dog, especially a working dog like they are? But man, that's a beautiful photo. Again, I love the wide angle and everything on the lens. So what do you guys think? Joe Man's Land, dog sledding in Lake Louise with the Z6 and the FTZ2 with a 17 to 35 GED. Man, it's working, buddy. It's working.
I feel tired looking at the dog panting here. I feel bad for the dog. They really get run hard.
Space People says he has that lens, Joe. Yeah, very colorful, beautiful representation of what they were doing out there. I enjoyed watching your video, buddy, and the behind the scenes. Everybody loves behind the scenes. And Stuart asked me a question here. Let's see. Chuck, you did not answer my question on Facebook. Oh, I didn't know you asked me one, brother. I'd answered it. Do you ride a Harley? Yes, I have a 2007 Softail Custom. I'm not riding it as much anymore, but yeah, I was and still have it. Great color, very good shots, Joe. Rakesh, yeah. Thanks, Joe. I like it.
Yeah.
They're just clean. They're very nice photos too, man. It goes right along with what you were doing out there. And your video is fantastic as well. All right. So I think that's Joey. Let's see. What do we got next? No, we already did this. Sorry, folks. I'm getting a little behind here.
I'm just going to grab a water quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Stuart, talk about it, brother. Tell us about it. I like it. I do. Yeah, I wish I had them all loaded into Bridge so we could zoom and everything else. But so concert photography at what did you say in your email? Woodstock show. Okay, cool. I like it. And I like that you didn't try to overcorrect or get rid of the color, and lose the ambience of what was going on there. I've seen people try to do that at concerts, concert photography, try to balance the white balance and so on and so forth. Not everybody, but I've seen people try to do it. And that just takes away everything that you're trying to capture, in my opinion. Cool, man. Oh, let me see what else I've got. All right. Thank you, Stuart. How come these won't? I keep getting the same photos up. All right. Who do we go to next? Oh, here you go. Mr. Roy. Roy, I'm assuming film. I love it. I love the pose. I love her expression. Tell us about it. He says we let the camera decide too much these days. Yeah. That's a very, that's a very interested face.
Thinking hard. Someone who's in deep thought.
Yes. Cool. Thanks, Roy. And I got to believe this was, Mozman's asking you, is this a scan of a photo? That's cool, buddy. I would imagine you've got tons of these. Very cool. Very cool. Let me see. I got another one here. And this is going to be Mr. Jim, real Nikon lover. Photo of the moon. Jim, I will let you talk about it.
Mr. Stewart, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, David.
Yes, absolutely. David, appreciate it. Appreciate all your comments and everything else, buddy. You know, you had an invitation. You may not be in a location where you could join us, but you know, you're always welcome. The moon photo I can't duplicate. I've tried, shot it handheld with D850, 2-500 handheld leaning against my house. There you go. Well, there's a whole lot of detail in it, no doubt about that. Man, that is
I don't see any extraterrestrials, though.
No. No. I was just looking at some of the craters. There's one that's just an absolute perfect circle, it looks like. I'd never noticed that before on the full moon. Cool. All right, Jim. Thank you very much, man. And Gustavo. Oh, Gustavo, this is cool. And he found some natural framing for a photo. I think it's pretty cool, Gustavo. Natural framing from within a cabin or something. That is cool. I guess there's no roof on this wall or something because there's so much light. It looks like there's light coming in at the top there. And a perfect made picture in the window. Man, that is cool. Again, see, these are the things again, and you know, some of you may not understand, or I shouldn't say you don't understand, but you may not realize how much it inspires others. And it's not that, you know, we're going to go replicate your photo to a T, but just the fact that it now inspires me again. Look for those naturally framed photos out there because they're always very interesting. And again, if you can keep your mind open when you're out shooting, and remember all these little different things that we see in these photo reviews, where a very uninteresting place may turn into something very interesting based on, you know, I remember that light painting photo, or I remember that natural frame photo or whatever. And it may turn a terrible situation into something that's actually extraordinary. And it's all of you that are submitting all these photos. And that's the whole reason that I enjoy doing this. I didn't want to do it in the beginning because I thought, yeah, we're going to get into the critique thing and it's going to get ugly and blah, blah, blah. But you guys have kept that from happening, and I really appreciate it. And I've grown to enjoy it just because I do draw a lot of inspiration from the photos that you guys submit. And I hope you guys feel the same way too. Guys and gals, I'm sorry. Mozman, plot twist. It's actually a Bob Ross painting on a cabin wall. Oh man. Ghost mining town in Colorado. Okay. But yeah, you know what? Everybody pat yourself on the back. Everybody say, thanks to all those that submit photos. Because like I said, it's just good to see something different. It may be completely out of your genre. And I think that's another thing that makes these photo reviews so good is we're not picking on each other. We're drawing inspiration from each other, and we're seeing things outside our comfort zone and things like that. So again, all of you deserve a pat on the back. And yeah, I want to keep this going. And we got through it in 2.5 hours or less than 2.5 hours. We may run into nights where we're not going to get through it in 2.5 hours, or we're not going to be able to spend as much time on everything. But I mean, just think of the photos. Let me run through. Well, I can't run through these again because I don't have them queued up. I wish that I could, but I will go back and run through these again. And without names or anything, let me just scroll through. I do like that, man. That's got ad written all over it. It's just peaceful. Yeah, I love it. And this is my favorite, though. Thank you, Greg. Just kidding. And there's taking a chance, and it worked. In my book, it worked. Beautiful architecture, close up. And thank you, Daryl. This is to get an idea of the height of those lights. And they don't end there, I know, I'm sure. But man, that's pretty spectacular. Great photo.
It's like you're shooting a weapon into space or something.
Yeah. Gives you an idea of how bright those spotlights are. And all the iconic pieces in this photo. Beautiful flower. Another beautiful flower. Again, I wish you could see it on this big screen. Thank you, Andre, the bass player, black and white. Anita, I still think that's a pretty incredible what you pulled off there. Good job. We already had this photo. I mistakenly included it in here, but it is a beautiful photo.
Yep.
It was Nick that took it, and then this is Nick, the 500 PF in church. Cool. David, thank you very much. If you're still here, I think you've already taken off, but just in case you're hanging around listening. Thank you, Jeffrey. The Ahinga pigeon. But with the little ones. And this was Jim. I mistakenly said it was you, Jeffrey, but it was Jim. And somebody said late evening, warm color. It was probably brown, but the warm light gave it that orange look. Again, Jim, thank you very much. Love this little guy. It almost looks like a toy. Like I hate to say it this way. It looks like a cat toy.
What were those little stuffed animals that everybody used to collect? The Thai animals there.
I don't know. Action shot. Fantastic. This is cool. As a composite, it's fantastic. Very well executed. Thank you, Gustavo, for the reflection that threw me for a loop.
Beanie Babies. That's what I was thinking.
And I mean, Joe just continues to knock it out of the park, man. Love it. Who says shallow depth of field can't be used for a photo? I mean, that makes this photo. And of course, the koi pond. Thank you, Joe. The flower, I'm telling you, it looks like something in an aquarium to me, some kind of jellyfish, but beautiful. Thank you, D Moots. and all of the light painting that we saw right up front. Again, creative, very creative. Take the idea and make it your own somehow. Again, that's the inspiration. But I particularly like this photo. I don't know what it is about it, but just the color. Too cool. Too cool. But thank you to everybody for submitting photos. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So now what do we talk about? Man, we can't talk about gear. Oh.
Well, today's the day you make stuff up.
There you go. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Nikon's coming out with a whole series of flashes for their cameras. Stay tuned.
Danny Wilson has been out of town, just now getting here. Danny, I'm sorry. Maybe you got to go through the rundown as we went through the photos again. Sorry, we weren't spending any time on them then. But I know that the time slot doesn't work for everybody. I understand that. You can always watch the replay, but I'd encourage anybody that is on the fence about, should I send a photo in? Or shouldn't I do it? Inspire us with what you have. It doesn't matter what you think or how good or bad you are as a photographer. It doesn't matter. Just share it with us, because I think those that have been here for a while now understand that we're not beating anybody up over what they take. That doesn't do anything for the photography community at all. It doesn't help anybody. If you want a professional critique, then I would suggest absolutely go to those sites or wherever where people do that. We're just not going to do it here because it often turns into, just an argument. And you submit a photo here, and I was just going to say,
it has enjoyable commentary and banter, and not overly critical, and every Chuck and I could look at 10 photos and have 10 different opinions, and that's just how photography is. I mean, just because I like one, he doesn't, or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the fact you get out there and shoot it. It's like some of these images tonight. You just say you had the guts to go out there and try something different and capture the photo and share it with people, and not being afraid to share it with people. And I think that's a great thing to be able to do that and have a talk about it.
So who am I to say a photo's good or bad, that somebody took? Who am I to say that? I can't say that. I can only say whether it resonates with me or not, but that doesn't make it a bad photo. And that's what aggravates me with so many people is, well, it's this or that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Do you like it? Well, I like it, but no, there's no buts to it. You like it or you don't. I understand you may have done something different, or you may have toned it different, or you might have edited it, framed it different, or whatever. But the point is that, everybody gets to go out and shoot. And there's a guy that really ticked me off over on Nikon Rumors, as a matter of fact, yesterday or today, I can't remember. And I'm not going to mention his handle on in the forum there. But it was all about people that are fake photographers, people that just go out and buy cameras just so that they can brag that they own a camera or a lens or whatever, blah, blah, blah. What does it matter why anybody buys a camera? Nikon, Canon, Sony, Fuji, Olympus or OM, and, every other camera maker out there could care less what you do with your camera when you purchase it. It's a purchase. That's it. Why does he have to care? And it aggravates me that, is it jealousy that he can't go buy some of these cameras or lenses? Is that what it is? Well, get over it, man. Or and he's such a fantastic photographer that he has to go tear people down that, that's just a snapshot. Well, you know what? It's a photo to them. And that's what the community should be about, is everybody gets to take the photo they like And if they ask for help and you can help them out, give them some pointers, I think that's fantastic. But, let's not shoot them down like, yeah, man, you're not using you buy all this equipment and you can't even use it or whatever. You're taking snapshots. Well, rather than taking
some of the pictures we remember the most are what our mom and dad took of us when we were kids, and quote unquote, they were all snapshots. There's nothing wrong with snapshots.
Yeah, absolutely. And someday, there are going to be photos that you took that are just, you feel like it's just a terrible photo. It's of a loved one that you're going to be glad that you took that photo. Yeah, it's overexposed, it's underexposed, it's whatever. But you know what? You'll never get that photo again of that person. And I know because, with my mom, I didn't take near enough photos. And I'll tell all you folks that are younger out there, go take photos of your kids, take photos of your parents, your grandparents, and everybody else. Anytime you get an opportunity, they don't have to be fantastic photos, but they're going to be the absolute best photos somewhere down the road. I'll guarantee you. So, yeah. So shoot what you like, do what you like, and don't worry about what photographers say. I'll tell you that right now. Worry about what you think and who else, other people that may enjoy them. All right. I'm probably way behind, not way behind, but I see we've got some comments here. Albert, good to see you, buddy. I'm sure you've been out having a good time tonight, as you should.
Ozman throws out there, how do we feel about the possibility Nikon prepping another teaser campaign? Personally, he hopes they don't go that route since there's too much frustration out there.
You and me both,
anything, it better be no more than from womb to tomb. If you say development, between development and shipment, better not be more than 30 days at this point.
Oh, shipment. Okay. I thought you were going to say announcement.
No, between the development announcement and then the formal announcement and shipping better be within a month because people have been waiting forever.
Well, Maz, I agree with you. I agree with you. We may agree for a little bit different reasons, but I agree with you because, right now, forget all the hoopla. Let's get have a big formal announcement. I think that's fine, but let's make it happen. Just get it out there. I just feel like and maybe I caused some of it. It'd be pretty brazen for me to say that, but I just feel like Nikon has to get moving. We got to put some pep in the step. That's all. And we can't, and while we have no choice, if that's the route they decide to take, a 4-week teaser program, I don't agree with that at all, but I'm sure that we're going to suffer through it. We'll talk about it a lot, but we've already talked about it enough. I think Nikon should realize that and just get the cameras out there. Let us get them, and that's going to shut us up, and then let us go out and start shooting because I can't shoot until I get it. All right. I don't know how you guys feel. Maybe you feel differently out there in the chat. Here's Lance talking about, these are good memories too. And if you have that picture, it's even better. Yeah. So by all means, folks, make sure you take photos of your loved ones. Again, they don't have to be perfectly posed photos or anything else. I wish I had more photos of my mom, and I don't.
Well, I told my wife, I says, when I pass on, I says, the only photo you got of me is our wedding photo from 40 years ago. I says, you'll have to take that off the wall and say, this is what he looked like when he had hair.
Yeah.
I'm always taking them. I'm never in them.
Yeah. And Hero says, I'd rather have a snapshot than no shot at all. And we say that all the time. And that's why I bring it up again, Hero, is we say that and then we don't act on it. Again, make sure you take those photos. You're gonna love them down the road. And oh, by the way, we talked about this a little bit the other day, folks. If you really want those photos to be around forever or as long as they can be, you got to print them. And I'm not saying you got to go out and print every photo you take. Even a 4x6 format photo from Walmart with, taking a disc in there and having them print all those photos, even that is better than nothing. And it sounds so cliche, but there will come a time when you're going to wish you had those photos and you never took them in and got them developed, because digitally there's no guarantee, but at least if you get them printed, they're going to be around no matter how much they may fade over time. They're going to be around and you're going to be able to look at them somewhere down the road. Everybody's going to be happy about that. Lovely Singh. Thank you very much. Everybody here, fantastic photos. And by the way, please submit some photos. We'd love to see your work and everybody else's out there. You now know there's no threat here. We're not going to make fun of or anything like that of any photo, because it's photography. It's not photography for photographers. Roy says Nikon's going to make an announcement in the next week or two. I think so too, Roy. I really do. But I can't, I can no longer recommend when people say, should I do this or should I do that? I can't do that at all anymore. Should I wait for this or should I get this? I can't answer that question. I'm not going to say, don't wait, go get what you want. I'm not going to say, yeah, hang on, because I don't know. I'm just at a loss. So all we can do is speculate, which is all we've done. But what we're going to find out maybe in the end is why there was a wait. We'll get some hint of that and how close we came so far back when we were looking at what's coming next from Nikon. So yeah, any news is better than none, as Gustavo just said. And I agree with that. Yeah, make an announcement about their upcoming announcement. There you go. Oh man. Craig, it wouldn't surprise me at all if it fell in at around $3,500. I say it's no more than $4,000. It'll be under $4,000, but it wouldn't surprise me if Nikon didn't pull this off at $3,500. I know that you got people out there that are so absolutely sure, no, never, blah, blah, blah. Be careful what you say.
Yeah, look at what the Z9 sold for compared to the A1 and the Canon. Big difference in price, man.
Yep. Phil says, I'm beginning to feel like Sony is sabotaging Nikon with the sensor somehow, because none of the other brands are having this problem. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. And I go back to, I think it's more of a production issue. I think Nikon just that small with their downsizing, the restructuring and everything else. I just think that they're having a tough time with production. So I don't know. Maybe they've got that figured out now, and we shall see. And I want to get off Nikon's back. I'm tired of riding Nikon. Okay. I really am. I just, either be honest with us. Here's why we can't put a camera out. We can only put one out a year or whatever. Or, hey, here's why we've been negligent, my word, not everybody else's, in feeding the consumer our product. So, and Joe Mann says they just need to get the smoke signals going and light the beacon. Absolutely, Joe. Yeah, because you know what? We're rolling around to some upgrades on Canon cameras, and I'm sure the same thing in Sony. And everybody says, well, we need to catch up. Which version do we need to catch up to? The last version, the version we have when we're talking about all the other cameras out there, or the version that will come? So again, this is why I talk about timing is everything for Nikon. And I don't know. It's not doing them any favors, in my opinion. All right. Gustavo says now in their new fiscal year, no excuses now. You would think that would be the case. Once the new camera smell wears off, it's all downhill. Absolutely. Yep. That'll be me, man. You know that, Moz, man.
Charles saying, "Oh, is this still live?" Yes, we are still alive. This is not a recording.
Yeah, we haven't even hit the 3 hour mark. I mean, we got to go to 3 hours at a minimum. So,
yeah.
For those that don't know, yep. I don't know, Phil. I don't know what they're going to do, but I do feel like the Z7, and I'm in disagreement with so many other people here. So, take this with a grain of salt. I feel like Nikon is going to do something with the Z7 series, and I think that they may be producing a new sensor for the Z7 series. So everybody said all these 45 megapixel cameras. What makes you think the Z7 will remain at 45 megapixels? I have a feeling for all of you that want the super high megapixel body, I think you're going to get it in the Z7. But, we'll see. We shall see. I don't want it, but I don't want to keep it from people that do want it. People that want it, by all means, you should buy it. But it's not for me. Neither is the 2-600. But I want Nikon to get it out now. I'm not going to buy it, but I'm not going to hold that back or say Nikon shouldn't do it. I know a lot of people are waiting for that lens, so let's get it out in people's hands. Yeah, I know, Roy. Prince can fade too, absolutely. But you know what? It's probably the most enduring medium for keeping a photo, at least from what I understand now. I know digital isn't, without having it backed up in numerous locations, I fear for that as well, but I don't know. Maybe go both routes.
I know most print places that you send to, they'll either advertise that they use 100-year archival inks, or some of them now even say they use 200-year archival inks. So, if it's 100 years, it's going to outlive you and I and probably our children. So yeah. Beyond that, look at how poor the technology was, and you could still find pictures that are legible from, the 1800s, early 1900s of like your great grandparents or whatever. And it's amazing. Well, based on the technology they had back then, that's amazing.
Well, that's just it. There's nothing absolute in this world. There's nothing forever in this world. So, go with the longest run and be happy. And Hero says, I've got like 45,000 of my kids and they're only 6 and 4. So when they grow up, forget something, you can say, Daddy's got it. And that's a great feeling.
I never did that. He'll say, wait a minute. What do you mean? I got it. You did do that.
Yep. That's a great feeling to have, not just for you, but for them. They're going to cherish those, not when they're teenagers. They don't want to see those photos. But later down the road, they'll cherish those photos. Don't we, when we look back at being kids, how many photos do we have? Some of us may not have very many. And you could always wish you had more. And now we've got, at least for as long as it lasts, we've got video. That's another thing. And I just talked to somebody about this a while back. It was Ted, ATR Bear. He had done it. And I wish I had done it. Sat down with my mother and had a conversation with her, not an interview, just let a camera run in the background and capture a normal conversation that we would have over, whether it was over cooking or something else or whatever. I wish I had that archived. And, for you guys nowadays with video cameras, man, I'm telling you, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss their voice, their inflection, just the comments and the way they carry on. Don't pass that opportunity up, man. You'll treasure it later on. Take this from an old man. Been there, done that. Messed up. Didn't get those things. I think you'll enjoy it later.
Yeah, I made that same comment. I says, I wish that with all the knowledge and And, my dad, living through the Great Depression and seeing so much changes in his 90-year lifespan. I mean, I wish I could have just talked to him and said, Dad, I just want you to start talking about whatever you want to talk, and I want to record it, because we really take for granted everybody that's around us, and we don't capture it.
Yep.
And then when we're like in our 60s or whatever, and our parents might have probably gone by then, we're like, you're kicking yourself in the pants saying, oh, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. So for all of you that are lucky enough to still have a parent or your parents around, talk to them, film them, take pictures of them, have pictures to show your kids and say, this was your grandma, and it's important. It's important to do.
Sanjay Paul says, I'm in the environmental science world. Even a slightly blurry photo is data that could give us a better understanding of new behavior, etc. Yeah. And that goes right along with, just your kids, your grandparents, your whatever. Yeah. I'll take a slightly, I take, a pocket full of slightly blurry photos of my mother right now that I don't have. And, I have no excuse. So yeah, people, I implore you, take all these archival photos. You will actually look at them later on. Let's see. Yeah, Gustavo, on the 28th announcement, I never expected an announcement on the 28th, although with the 29th or something that Nikon was having their big to-do at Nikon headquarters, I expected that would be a precursor to an announcement, and it may be that's what's going to come out of that big powwow. I think it was on the 29th there at Nikon Corp headquarters. Hopefully it is, and we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We should see here before long. Mozman, nobody prints anymore because computers no longer have print button on them. So true. So true. Oh man. Oh, and here you go. This is one of those sad moments of, you're right. I lost my dad, and the last photos I took of him, it sucks still. Over 20 years later, accidental deletion on my very first digital camera. Yeah, man. I mean, that's just the things that, happen. And again, print them. Cheap prints. It doesn't have to be exquisite prints, just cheap prints. Go to Walmart, if they still do it, with your little SD card and ask them to print all those photos in 4x6. It's not that expensive. And then take them home, put them in a shoebox like everybody else does. You will be glad you did somewhere down the road. Almost forgot to say 2 to 600. Hero. Yeah, well, we talked about it a minute ago. Lance is saying the rumor on the Z8 would be $3,300. Yeah. Well, of course, there are quite a few rumors out there. Anything 3,500 or under, it's an instant pre-order for me, says Craig. Yeah, and it would not surprise me to be 3,500 or 3,496. They like that 96, 3,496, 96. So it wouldn't surprise me if it falls in there, but I'll stick with what I said because it'd be cheating now to make another prediction. It'll be under $4,000. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I come on here, sad face. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. And
well, I always figured it would be $300 to $400 more than what the D850 was when it came out, which was $3,500. So I'm thinking 38, 39.
Yeah, and this is a good point. Maz, you're talking about that, and maybe it's even more now. I don't know if I've noticed more, but the constant barrage we've had over the last 365 days. I don't want to say year as in calendar year, but over the last year, constant sales of Nikon glass and and Nikon camera bodies. You know, the 6.2 series, the Z6 and Z7 up until they stopped manufacturing them, but the Z6 and Z6 II, Z7 II, man, it's been prolific at how many sales there have been on those bodies and with kit lenses and things like that. That was a big indicator to me. You know, Nikon, why would they be doing that? And why would they extend all these sales? I just assumed that they're trying to eliminate inventory. So yeah, a great indicator that panned out or didn't pan out. Or truly something has hung them up on the Z8 and they had, you know, nothing else that they could swap into its place or something like that. But they've sure provided some discounts on lenses, kits, and Z6 II, Z7 II. Charles, I'm so happy to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I love it when you show up. Yep, it's still live, man. It's still live. You know us.
What was that commercial? Is it Live or Memorex? Remember those commercials?
Yeah.
Live or Memorex?
So Stuart says, I'm seeing lots of Z bodies been badly made online by Nikon Z shooters that make me worried. I don't know if I follow you, Stuart. You know, there are a lot of things. I mean, again, there are other indicators out there that give me, you know, cause for concern. Within the big photography community, Canon and Sony, there'll be live streams or things like that going on. And somebody will ask, well, what should I get? And Nikon is never mentioned. I mean, you gotta worry about that. You know, you got to be a bit concerned. Nikon never gets a mention. It's not because Nikon is so bad. I don't know. It's almost as if they intentionally want to knock Nikon out of the camera business. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but still, it's got to bother you. If you're a Nikon shooter and you want the brand to continue, of course it will continue, but who knows at what level. Anyway, Lance, keep talking about the Z8 so we can get Chuck on a rant. Yeah, it doesn't take much. That or over sharp lenses or, you know, any of those things. I'm such a complainer, man. Oh man. So, you know, it's funny. You kind of, poking fun at the whole situation, which I like. You know, we need a little levity in it. Nikon is shy Japanese company. Sony is drunk one. LOL. Cameras for everyone, more shots. You know, I did. Here's something else. You guys may not have recognized it, but I did. This goes all the way back to I think the D500 announcement, and Canon was something else or whatever. And it was right around CP Plus of that year. It's been a while ago. But what I'm going to say here is Nikon came out on stage for their presentation, the president, CEO, and all the other whatever. And I mean, if you shot that photo in black and white, you could have taken a photo from 1950 corporate headquarters of them on stage and brought it up and just placed it on the stage, because that's exactly what they looked like. They had not changed a bit. I don't mean they're the same people, but the same style, the same stodginess, the same whatever. In the same CP Plus, they had the Canon CEO or president or whatever he's called happened to visit. And here's a guy with longer hair down over his ears. It sounds funny, I know, but over his ears, wearing a suit, but no tie, shirt button open. Now, who's more hip here? I mean, who's more in line with, you know, regular people? Just on a, you know, just observing them. I mean, totally different looks. And, but I think that's who Nikon is. Are we going to change that? No. And I almost don't want, and this is another fear I have. I was thinking out loud the other day, so I'll just go ahead and share it here real quick. I was thinking out loud, and I thought, you know, we keep talking about, or I keep talking about, I won't put you guys in that boat, about Nikon needs some new blood, younger blood in the mix. But I worry about that. I like that Nikon has stuck to their guns on so many things and so many points. But then again, you know, if we get young blood in there and then we go we can cut corners here, we can cut corners there, we can get products out, we can get more production facilities or things like that. I'm afraid that it would go overboard. And to find the happy medium in there, I just wish that Nikon could do that. Just change their corporate style a little bit, become a little more human, and relate to the people, communicate with the people. I think that would be a great way for Nikon to go. So, all right. A lot of blathering there, right? And you guys can tell me to shut up and we'll talk about what you want to talk about. Oh, man.
Charles Davis has taken off or may have already left us. If you're still hanging in there, Charles, thanks for coming on.
Yep. Yeah, Charles. I'm glad you came in here. It makes me feel better when I see you, brother.
Jason Michael, photography. A lot of channels are saying the Z8 is going to be 4,300. I think if you're looking at 4,300, that would be including the grip. I mean, I think most are in that $38,000 to $4,000 range, and then you got to figure the grip's going to be at least $400, maybe $500. So it all depends on whether you're going to want that grip or not. And but you know, hey, they're giving you the option. Everybody complained, oh, we like the A1, you know, and we don't have to get the grip. It's nice and small, yada yada yada. Okay, well now you're gonna be able to theoretically get a Nikon that'll be smaller without a grip. So get a grip, man. You know, you don't like it, get a grip.
So that could be the case, Jeffrey, but I'll say I don't think that's the case. I think they're using that number. Everybody's afraid to actually say what they believe because they don't want to be under for whatever reason. Yeah, I think that they're just sticking to a higher number because you can't be wrong, or it would be pleasing if you were wrong. So I don't know why people can't, you know, if you've got a gut feeling, I don't know why you can't put it out there. And if you look at a lot of the indicators that go on around us, there's a lot of information out there about what to expect. Luis, yeah, we loved your photo, buddy. And just woke up to go to work. I'll watch the stream later on all the best. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, I use 200-year-old ink. when I sell your old prints, it's a big advertising piece for me, Maz. Don't tell all these people that. That's exactly right. This photo will be with you
as soon as Chuck signs off. If you had a camera on him, you'd hear his printer going, printing everything out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Rakesh talking about storage here, crucial SSDs, the X8 4 terabyte model. Not me, Rakesh, but Maz may be able to chime in if he hasn't already. He probably already has. I'm just so far behind.
I think I bought a crucial 2 terabyte SSD, but I really haven't had an opportunity to use it yet, so I can't really tell you if it's any good or not. I mean, I bought one and I have one, but I haven't had a need to use it because it's for, you know, if and when I go traveling more than anything, and I haven't done that yet. So,
hey, Sith, that's a great idea, man. Yeah, leave something behind. Again, I don't have enough photos of me. Not that I want photos of me, but I know that somewhere down the road the kids are going to want them. And oh well. Roy was talking about a coffee table book. He loves those. Yeah, I agree with you. And maybe that's a niche that is falling off the table, no pun intended, that we need to bring back. Who knows how many people would enjoy it.
I did one hoping to do a coffee table book myself, but the problem is, and it's funny. It's like I talked to, or I asked a question on other channels, and I'm not going to say whose they are, but I've asked the question many times with certain channels where the people do sell their own books or have sold their own books, and I'll ask flat out. I'll say, well, where do you go to get them printed? Because for what I would do or whatever, I only want a couple. Maybe for family and friends. You're gonna use the ones that are out there to use are extremely expensive. So if you actually wanted to make a book that you would like to think that you could sell, let's say between $50 and $60, and at least make 50%, 40% profit on that book. I mean, I'm assuming you would have to get it printed in China. Okay, well, how would you go about? Who would you go to get the prices to get a large quantity of books printed? And nobody will answer that question for me. I must have asked a half a dozen people, and nobody will share that information. I guess it's top secret. They're doing their books. They don't want anybody to know where they go, where they can get them made cheap in quantity, and so the rest of us are stuck with blurb, which is really expensive.
Yeah.
I did a book I showed last week, I think it was, that I held up. That was a 50% off sale, and the book costs at 50% off cost me $80.
Wow.
So are you going to use a company like that to make books?
Hey, we go back to those old photo albums that my mother and my grandmother and everybody used. You stick the photo in the little sleeve.
Yeah. Just buy an old photo album, like you said, and just print small prints and stick them in there.
Oh man, Spacebill says he lost all of his photos from 2002 to 2005. Wow. And I flashed the comment up there by Roy, back up and back up and back up. Yep. Because everybody's going to lose something at some point. Craig C says the Z8 is 2,000 or 4,000 or more. I'm going for the Z9. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Gustavo's saying, what about the flip amongst prognosticators? Boy, you got to use big words, Gustavo, this late, early in the morning. Prognosticators. Which camera should be out first, the Z8 or Z6 II, and the release schedule? They're going to come out with the higher tier camera first because they want to capture some sales for the more expensive camera first, and they're not going to have a long delay between them, or they shouldn't, but maybe they'll have a 2-month delay between a Z8 and a Z6 III or a Z7 III, so that they can get a little bit of the sales order backlog on the Z8, and then they'll pop out with the Z6 III or the Z7 III, but they're not going to put out the lower end camera first. I mean, I know that's what a lot of people want, but that's not historically what they've done.
All right. So I saw where Charles had to take off. All right. So I'm getting somewhat closer. Sorry, folks, I'm so far behind, but that's how we do it here. Okay. Now we know. All right. Danny Wilson is John Wilson. Yep. Black fiber optic brush, single shot, no Photoshop. Cool. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for clarifying that. And as you can see, I still have one of your photos. Cool.
Yeah, the one that you have now is the one he's talking about. Yeah, with the brush.
Mm-hmm. All right, Stuart, you're probably already gone, but hey, thanks for being in here. Appreciate it. All right, I'm getting ready to wrap it up because I'm getting tired too. I don't have any M&Ms. That's what it is. I have no energy, no M&Ms. And M&Ms are, energy. You were answering Gustavo there, talking about which Z8 or Z6 II. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. ZF. That's what's coming next. I don't have
the Z1 rangefinder. I really love that from Matt tonight. The Z1 rangefinder camera.
Nikon ZH8 is what Mozman says. The ZH8. There you go.
Or that ZXX. That ZXX.
Yeah, you know what, Craig? If the Z6 III was released first, there is a chance I would buy that rather than the Z8. It just depends on what it looks like. But if the Z8 does come out first and it is what I think it's going to be, then I'll probably buy it. However, if it turns out that it's some 80 megapixel monster camera, blah, 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 not interested, and I may opt for the Z6 III. Then I'd have all three of them, the Z6, the Z6 II, and the Z6 III. I could be like Roy. I can start collecting them. Roy has it up through DSLR, and I can take it from mirrorless forward. Oh, man. Luke says Roy thinks 61. Why 61? I don't know. And you know what? It could be, but why would Nikon want to go with an old sensor when it's going to have to compete with everything that's getting updates right now? Just think about that. Just think about that for a few minutes. I don't think Nikon wants to be. Nikon is so innovative, and they pride themselves in it. Look at the Z9, and we shall see. We shall see. I
complain now of the size of the files, even with using high efficiency RAW. I complain now about the amount of storage that you need for video and the cards you got to buy, what they cost, and I just had to order, Chuck. I had a 12 terabyte RAID system set for RAID 1. So I had 6 terabytes of external storage. Well, I pretty much filled that up. I just placed an order with B&H for a 36 terabyte RAID system. So I have 18 terabytes of storage, and I mirror it because I ran out of space already. These video files are killing me. It's too large. The files are just too doggone large. And then people talk about 61 megapixel camera or 80 megapixel camera. Be careful what you wish for, man. And you jump at that, okay, you're going to be upgrading your computer. You're going to be upgrading your storage. You're going to be paying thousands of dollars for your SSD cards. And then you're going to cry about that. So decide how hard you want to cry, people. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion too about the Z5 Mark II. Look, right now, I mean, had Nikon jumped at this early on, they could have eliminated a whole lot of other complaints and confusion, because now everybody has their wish list out and everybody's considering. Nikon is looking at that, and there's a possibility that all these different cameras are going to come out at once, or that theirs is going to come first. And I got to tell you, I don't know. I don't know, how people are going to react. So, Mozman, I know that you're constantly looking at this as well, and you kind of keep me in check as well. But you know what? Now nobody's going to be happy, Moz. You're not going to have a happy Nikon camp. The happy days of everything's wonderful and peaceful in the Nikon camp, it's not going to be, because there's about 5 cameras right now that everybody wants right now, and Nikon can't possibly produce them. I mean, we're still waiting on one and maybe another one this year. So I don't know what people are going to do. Be interesting though. And Mr. Ted, ATR Bear, the longer Nikon waits on releasing, the more market share they lose. Yeah, I know, and I'm kind of tired of beating that drum because a lot of people don't believe it, but it is true. And how much is it going to hurt Nikon? Not enough that Nikon's going to be, significantly knocked over or anything like that, but you still want to see them do better. And I know that they can, unless there's just some absolute reason Nikon's hands are completely tied. It's out of their control. And, I don't know what that would be. I don't know how it would be, but because, you got to look around you and say, well, everybody else is doing this. Why can't you again? What is the problem? So anyway, but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I agree with Roy's statement. I feel the same way. If you need more than 50 megapixels, go the medium format route. I kind of agree with that. I mean,
well, and that's one of the other cameras that everybody wants. I don't know how we're going
to. You announced it tonight, Chuck, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I don't know how we're going to make all the glass for it, but again, people don't think sometimes. They just, it should be this, it should be that, and whatever. All right, great. Did you also look at all the wait time for peripherals for that you want? I should have pulled that up. Jim sent me all the Nikon's challenges going back to 2011. And I've talked about that. People forget all the stuff. I talk about so much crap that most people forget most of it. I see people making videos now talking about things that I was talking about a year ago. And all of a sudden it's new. It's new information. It's a new idea. No, it's not. All you have to do is look around and you'll find this information. Maybe it just took that long for them to figure it out. But when we were going through the, supply shortages and all the other, and I still throw a flag on all that. I don't know what's going on with Nikon, but it's not all that may have helped with some of it. But anyway, you go back and Nikon has this history of slow delivery on so many different things. And, the 500 PF Maz taking off, man.
No, Jeff and Leslie are leaving. So have a good one. Jeff and Leslie.
Okay. You go back to the 500 PF. I wanted that lens. I would have bought that lens, but because it took a year before it even came back up on the radar after it was released in very limited quantity, I said, forget it, and I wasn't upset with Nikon at the time. Even after going through the D800 debacle, and for those of you that were around and know that took forever. And the D4, for those, even the pros that wanted to get it, that took forever. But anyway, so that's just some of the issues that we've had with Nikon. And all the others where people have had to wait and wait and wait. And how many times has Nikon told us we didn't expect the demand and blah, blah, blah. We're working around the clock, or whatever. Even with all the way up through the Z9. And I know they went through the restructuring and everything else. But my point here is this isn't the first time this has happened with Nikon. And if Nikon would come out and say, look, we produce things in limited quantity because we can't take a big chance and have stock sitting on a shelf or whatever. I don't know. That may sound crazy the way I'm saying it, but Nikon, just tell us. And then we know what to expect. But right now, that's the issue. There's no communication, none, zero, no hint, no nothing. And they have done a fantastic job of upholding their NDAs, their non-disclosure agreements. They're doing a great job because definitely people are afraid to talk. And you better hope that's what it is, because if people are willing to talk and there's nothing to talk about, we got a bigger problem, don't we? All right.
Well, I'm going to kind of comment on Craig's comment. but I'll put a different spin on it. He says, we've been trained by huge Sony and huge Canon to expect new bodies every 6 months. That's not Nikon, nor do they need to scramble to try to keep up with them. Well, I don't think that Nikon, I personally, I think Sony, in many cases, does not have a lot of difference between some of their models. Some of their models, like when a new model comes out, they'll say, well, it's really not much different than the model before. So they tend to flood the market with a lot of models that don't necessarily differentiate themselves too much from another. And I personally, working in manufacturing, don't see that as the smartest thing to do. I think you're better off if you had a half a dozen models that fit, entry level niche, high end consumer, medium level consumer model, high end consumer model, pro model, and mixture of whether you say full frame and DX or what have you, and you have quality. And you have, good feature set at a reasonable price, you're good to go. I mean, I don't think you need to have 15 cameras out there where it's like, if you question somebody and says, what's the difference between the A7R4 and the A7R5? And people say, I don't know.
So let me ask you this, though. How has any of this hurt Sony sales? It hasn't.
Well, what it does to me, what it does is it hurts their profitability because they're tying up manufacturing with all these different models. And yeah, sure, they're going to sell one of them. They're going to sell something. That's true. But they're also going to have stuff sitting on the shelf because they have so many more models. They're tying up their production lines. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know that that's taken place, though, Jeffrey. I don't know that that's happening. Maybe they have it mapped out where it works extremely well, where, this many of these on, on this run, and then we go to this or whatever. But it's obviously working for them because, they slam dunked the market, especially as soon as Nikon and Canon jumped into the mirrorless market, or right before that. They were doing extremely well up to that point. So my point is that, I know a lot of people say, I don't want all those choices. And I understand that. I understand that 100%. But, at this point, it's feast or famine. And we're in the famine.
I want choices, but if somebody says, what's the difference between a Z6 and a Z7 or a Z7 III and a Z9, I want to be able to say, well, the only difference is this one does 20 frames a second and this one does 15 frames a second. To me, that's not enough of it. You got to make the camera so it has a certain feature set and it kind of fits a certain part of the market and it stands alone. When you get it where the nuances are just so small, it confuses the consumer because they don't even know what to buy. They'll buy something, but I don't know. I just think you're diluting yourself.
No, sale is a sale, period. And if they're operating in such a deficit, then we won't have to worry. Sony will do themselves in, but I don't think that's the case at all. I think that they're doing extremely well. You can't take that away from them. And you could throw Canon into that as well. Look at Canon. And they seem to be doing extremely well also. Again, I'm not going to leave Nikon. I like Nikon just because I'm comfortable with Nikon. I like the ergonomics. I like this or whatever, just like everybody else likes what they're shooting with. Okay. But I'm not such a fanboy that I'm giving them an excuse to continue to go down this path that they're on. I'm not going to give them an excuse. You guys know that. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what? You should buy Nikon. Look at what Nikon's doing. Well, don't look at what they're doing. Just buy Nikon.
You buy whatever you want.
There you go. Exactly. Go buy whatever you want. I'm all for that. But I just like Nikon to be a little more responsive. I know people don't like the fact that I want. I get that. But you know what? I do want, and there it is. And I'm not the only one. Everybody acts like that comes back at me, acts like it's just me. It's just me up here, ranting about, what Nikon's not doing or not giving my camera to me fast enough. I got news for you, folks. There's a whole lot of people out there that don't have a YouTube channel and can sit here and rant. There are a lot of people that would like to, I'm sure. And I do get my share of folks that, appreciate the fact that I'm not going to, just let them do what they want. And, especially the people that have what they want are the ones that complain about us the most. Isn't that funny? Isn't that amazing? The people that have exactly what they want with Nikon complain about us wanting something more. Isn't that amazing? How selfish is that? I mean, think about it. Just think about it. The people that say you're a petulant child or you want more and more and more, how does that affect you? You got what you want. Can't you just enjoy it? Can I flip this coin around on you and say, just go shoot your whatever, your D40, your D90. Nothing wrong with these cameras, your DSLR, your Z6. Go shoot it. Be happy. But do you have to run those of us down that want the next new? I mean, really, think about that. Think about who has a problem here. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll probably have a bunch of people say, "Hey, Sid, I'm done with you." But I mean, honestly, if it's about photography, don't worry about what others want. Worry about what you want. And all those people that say you shoot with what you got, go shoot with what you got. Quit complaining about us wanting something new. There you have it. All right. You knew you guys would have to get me on that rant.
I agree with Drunk Wedding Photographer. I used to love going to Ritz camera stores. I used to love, that was my local shop when they were around. I mean, they had several locations in Connecticut, but I think the thing is that owner also owned a place that made boats, and he was losing his shirt. Boat sales went down when marine gas prices were $7 a gallon. And he decided to ditch the Ritz photo business to try to keep his boating industry alive, which I'm not sure if that really worked out for him or not, but I do definitely miss that store. I mean, I had a lot of friends there that I knew, and it was nice to be able to walk into a place that had cameras. I mean, now it's like, I'm sorry, I just don't get off on going to Best Buy. That's all. Doesn't work for me. I want a real camera store near me.
Oh man, good one, Maz. Maybe that's what's going on. I've tried to be a good boy over the last few weeks. If you hadn't noticed, I've steered clear of major rants. But anyway, yeah, need I even say Nikon needs to do something soon. It won't matter whether I say it or not. So there you have it, folks. Don't ask me. I don't know, obviously. But then again, nobody does. All right. Oh, man. Still got 40 people in here. You people are a glutton for punishment, I tell you.
No one believes in sleep. No one wants to sleep, man.
Well, some of them may not be in a location where it's nighttime and it's a new day. Roy's enjoying another beautiful day already. Oh man. All right. You know what? I am getting ready to pull the plug though. I am getting tired. It's just looking over here again. Morning, chaps. There's Alan Barnes. All right. Good morning, Alan. Luke wants to know if we're ready for the Z8 II yet. Yes, let's get that conversation started too. Might as well by the time it gets here. We'll have at least 2 years of development, our development on it. Yeah, Maz out there on the West Coast, it's nice, man. You guys have that 3-hour difference. Um, 2:30 in the afternoon, says Roy. Craig says he's a night owl. My only quiet time. Yeah, I used to be that way too when I had kids. Actually, it was early in the morning before everybody else got up. I can start the photo show again, says Greg Wilson. If I had enough energy, I would, because I'm sure there would be other people that want to join. But you know what? I do want to say, again, fantastic folks today with the photo show. Everybody that submitted photos, I really appreciate it. And I think a lot of people out there do. I would just try to encourage others. If you're not doing that, send us a photo for our photo review. It takes place the first Saturday of each month. First Saturday. I haven't looked at the calendar to see what the date is yet for next month, but I'll do that soon. I'll put that reminder out and send a photo. Be part of it, man. We enjoy looking at all the photos, and it does inspire us. All right. I've said that about 500 times. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing it. Jeffrey, do you have any closing statements before the court?
Before the court. I didn't do it. No. No, I just think it's another great photo sharing experience tonight. I mean, I really love seeing everybody else's stuff. I really do, because obviously not everybody has a YouTube channel, and we get to see what you guys do, and it's all great stuff, and it helps. I think it helps get people charged up to want to go out the next day and maybe do something a little different. I think it's really important to do the sharing part. It's really great. Other than that, I'm good, and thanks for letting us keep you up at night.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. And I appreciate, again, all the photos. All right, so we're going to do it again next month. First Saturday next month. So start thinking about your photos. I'm not going to pick a theme or a topic or anything like that. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to submit, that's fine. So make sure you send it to apstudios001@yahoo.com. And I'll have that in the description. It's in the description for this stream as well. So if you send it to the other email, chuckomail@yahoo, I may not find it. It's getting so crowded over there with so many other things that I've got going on, and junk mail and everything else that I lose things. But let's see. Here's my brother. Let me see what my brother has to say. He's down in Kentucky. Have a great evening, brother, and all that are watching. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. I'm sure everybody had a good time. We always have a good time. Next month, all submissions must be taken with a Z8. Well, the easy thing about that is it'll be easy for me to put them all in folders, because there won't be any.
Won't be any.
All right, folks. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the weekend. It's rather short for those of you down under. I know it's almost over, but at least we got one more day to go before we have to head back to work or whatever it is we're doing. God bless you all. I hope everybody can return. We'll be back Wednesday afternoon. That's where we get the European audience. We get a lot of folks out of the UK because it's in the evening for them. And I just hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Get out there, shoot and share, something I don't do, I'm aware of, but we can't have photos for our photo review if you guys don't get out and shoot. All right, folks. Again, thank you all very much, and hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. or at least until we meet again on Wednesday or Saturday, if that's when you regularly meet us. Jeffrey, thank you very much. Thanks going out to all the folks that sat in on the panel. And again, you folks can sit on the panel and talk about these photos. And you can be on any of the live streams. Gustavo's jumped in. Kevin's jumped in. I love seeing all the new faces. And you can come on and talk about what you want to rant about. All right. That's it, folks. Hope everybody has a great weekend. What's left of it. Talk to you all later. Jeffrey.
Have a good one.